I want to hear cannons. Outfield, pull up, ball to the 5, touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans does it again. Fire the cannons, Bucs.
It's first and goal. That's picked off. That's picked off. And who else? Rondé Barber. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers may ride to the Super Bowl with that one.
Third down, 18, dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, throws up to the head, intercepted at the 30, Derek Brooks 30, Brooks to the 25, 20, Derek Brooks all the way. There it is, the dagger's in, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And there the cannons go, fire them, keep on firing them, keep on firing them.
Monday Night Football is live on ESPN, which means we are live on YouTube tonight for a special live stream here on the Cannon Fire Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host for the evening, Rhett Matthew. Going to be running some play-by-play and taking your calls as we talk about all things Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And honestly, kick back, relax, and watch some Monday Night Football. We've got a pretty good game brewing up between the Detroit Lions looking to bounce back from getting absolutely housed last week against the Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders, who I believe their last game was an embarrassing loss at the hands of the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm not the biggest Raiders fan, so do not quote me on that, but I do know that we have a good game tonight. I'm going to do my best to keep you guys up to speed on all the action. And again, just like you can see, give us a call, 305-224-1968. The meeting ID tonight is 892-8156-1099. Kickoff here from the Lions, who are 13-4 over their last 17 games, a team that obviously we saw run through the Bucs a couple of weeks ago, looking to show up and show out on Monday Night Football. Mikey Kelly, what's up, man? What's up, guys? Shout out to the Cannon Fire Podcast. Shout out to you, Mikey. Trying some new things out tonight for the stream. I got an all-new layout. If you guys could not tell, I think it was time for a change. So we went and tried to update the show backdrop, the show overlay, if you will. So I think maybe this live stream is an excuse to show that off a little bit, but I am looking forward to a really solid game tonight. You can see the ESPN matchup predictor has the Lions as a heavy favorite, 70.7%. I think they're favored by 8 points last I looked at the line. And if that's the case, which I know the lines move a lot as we, close into the game. But if that was the case, truthfully, I kind of like the Raiders in the points tonight. I mean, I know the Lions are a much better team, and I do think they're going to win. I think the Lions are going to win. I just don't think they're going to cover. So if you are betting tonight, I like the Raiders in the points. But another thing I'll be keeping track of tonight are my prize picks. We got a couple of prize picks parlays in play for Monday Night Football. I will be taking a look at how we do. So the first is a pick six to win 150. You put $6 down, you win 150. Jared Goff, more than 268.5 passing yards. Riley Patterson, the Detroit Lions kicker, more than 1.5 field goals made. So if he gets 2 field goals this game, that's a win. Jacoby Myers, the Vegas receiver, more than 61.5 receiving yards. That's the one I'm a little bit iffy about because I don't know what kind of offense. I have Jacoby, more than 40, plus Josh Reynolds, more than 0.5 rush plus receiving touchdown. So rush or receiving touchdowns from either one of those guys is a win for us tonight. Let's get to the second ticket here. Another pick six. That's pretty much all I do on prize picks is just pick six. Josh Jacobs, more than 57.5 rushing yards. I believe that was up over 60 earlier today, so I kind of like that line a lot. Josh Jacobs, I'm heavy on the running yards there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, more than 88.5 receiving yards for him tonight. Sam Laporta, more than 50.5 receiving yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 101.5 rush plus receiving yards. I am not super hot on that one either. Seems like the Lions are finally coming around to figuring out how to use Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm not entirely sure if tonight is going to be the night that he runs wild, but it does help us that is rush plus receiving yards. So if he gets 30 yards out of the backfield, then he doesn't need a monumentous day running the football. Alex Anzalone, number 34 for Detroit, the linebacker who has been playing his ass off. I have got him tonight, more than 7 tackles, and then Aiden Hutchinson on the sack for that second ticket to round things out. All right, final ticket for Monday Night Football, and this one is a mega parlay, I like to call it. It's got some NFL, NBA, NHL, and some World Series action on this one. So it's a pick six to win $250. This is my big money ticket tonight for $10. Josh Jacobs, more than 61.5 rushing yards. So again, when I put that ticket in today at 1 o'clock, the line for Josh Jacobs was up over 61.5. So I wish I would have waited a little bit, but I still think he can do it. Devontae Adams, more than 75.5 receiving yards. Walker Kessler for Utah, the big center over in the NBA, more than 15.5 points plus rebounds. He does not play till 9 o'clock. Benedict Mathurin, I believe he's a forward for Indiana, the Pacers, more than 13.5 points. I don't know if he'll come through, but he's sitting pretty at 6 right now. Needs 7.5 more points for that to hit. Corbin Carroll over in the MLB in the World Finals, the Arizona base runner, need more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. He has been on a tear, so I do like that pick a lot. And then Tyler Seguin, the Dallas Stars forward over in the NHL, I need more than 2 shots on goal for him tonight, and that game started at 8 p.m. So we have got a lot of action going on, and I am excited as we are getting ready for Monday Night Football in Ford Field, Detroit Lions and the Las Vegas Raiders. If you guys are stopping by for the first time, if you like Tampa Bay Buccaneers content and you're looking for more of that, subscribe to the channel for more great Tampa Bay Buccaneers content. Hell, maybe we'll do more of these game day hangout reaction live streams. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. No fair catch. This will be returned by Detroit at the 5. They'll get the ball first, and the returner shakes and bakes his way up to the 20-yard line. Reminder, guys, the phones are on tonight, so you can call in 305-224-1968. The meeting ID, 892-8156, 1099. If we have anybody in the waiting room, hopefully I'm able to see you. Something new we're doing tonight. Hopefully the scoreboard loads in correctly. You can see everything good over there. And the Lions have the ball. Jared Goff under center and a jumbo set here on 1st and 10 from the 20. It's going to be an inside handoff. There he is, Jahmyr Gibbs at running back, your starter tonight. Looking to get more involved in this Detroit Lions game plan as the weeks go on. Mikey Kelly, Braden Travis, Christopher Cole, Richard T. all the way from L.A. What's up, buddy? Democrats are evil. Hey, Andy Dalton, where is Scout? She is probably somewhere in the apartment right now tearing up some stuff that she shouldn't be into right now. On it, shotgun. It's a play-action fake. Rather, inside handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs, number 26. Now, the Lions tonight, just for anyone who's not able to watch the game, the Lions have got their all-gray kits, the jerseys and the pants in that gray, and then they've busted out that hideous alternate blue helmet with that old 1920s Lions logo. I hate it, but you know what? That's what primetime's all about. Raiders, of course, in the white and silver, wearing their all-white kits. So a lot of gray in the uniform matchup tonight. Pretty bland. Empty backfield now on 3rd and 3 for Jared Goff. Sam Laporta, the tight end in motion, takes a snap. Quick throw to the right, finds Laporta for the first down and then some. It's a quick gain, but it's all they need to move the sticks. And the Lions have got their first down of the game. Sam Laporta, second-round pick from Iowa last year in the 2023 NFL Draft. Done a really good job of picking up where Hawkinson left off for Detroit. Sam Laporta has been a problem, and a type of development like that from a rookie tight end is definitely going to be an issue for teams these next couple of years. Under center, out of the single back, it's another handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs, who will fight his way forward for maybe 4 or 5 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12th overall pick in the 2023 draft, running back from Alabama, the highest drafted Lions running back since Barry Sanders, who was picked 3rd in 1989. His first career touchdown was last week against the Ravens in that big-time loss for the Lions. It's a quick pass out of the shotgun yet again to Jahmyr Gibbs in the flat. He gets blockers and picks up another first down. So some light work for the Lions so far as they get a couple of first downs and some positive momentum on the opening drive of the night. Playing in front of that home crowd, too. Looks like a packed house. It's a shame those are the helmets they chose. Like, the color is fine. They pop on TV, but the logo is just hideous. Hideous. Under center yet again, single back. It's play action. Goff back to pass. He's got to get rid of it. Pressure was all over the place. That was Robert Spillane and Max Crosby bringing the pressure. Mikey Kelly, where's the Philly Bucs fan? He owes me $50. Uh-oh. I don't know if Evan's taken any money, but he's going to be gone for a little while. Evans, I don't know if I'm at liberty to say where he is, but he will not be on the show for probably the next 2 or 3 weeks, if I had to guess. So it might be a little bit until we see him once again. 2nd and 10 now out of the shotgun with a man in motion. That's Gibbs. Goff takes the snap, has time. Check down to Gibbs, who's going to try and find some running room. Gets around a tackler, but the second wave of Raiders are going to bring him down. Where's part-time Evan? He's working part-time, man. So he's not here tonight. Another big 3rd down on this opening drive for the Lions offense. 11.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. They'll try and convert from 4 yards away. Jahmyr Gibbs still on the field, and he will line up out wide as a receiver at the bottom of your screen here. Already 5 touches and 23 yards from scrimmage tonight for the rookie at running back. It's an empty backfield now. Gibbs in the slot. Goff takes the snap, fires to Gibbs. That's another catch and a first down for the young rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. And I was just telling you guys before this stream started about my prize picks tonight. We needed a big game from Jahmyr Gibbs. And luckily, it is rush plus receiving yards because 6 touches on this opening drive for him means he might be getting a lot of work tonight. Jared Goff already 26 passing yards on this drive. Jahmyr Gibbs, 35 yards from scrimmage so far in this game. Productive opening drive for the rookie. You love to see it. From under center, Jahmyr Gibbs, the single back. It's going to be a handoff up the gut. And he'll pick up another 4 to 5 yards. Just good, consistent running so far from Jahmyr Gibbs when they send him up the gut. So he'll check out of the game on 2nd and 6 now with 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Nine plays and 41 yards for the Lions so far as they're on the 40-yard line. Goff out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action. Oh, inside handoff. Guess who's back? Number 13, David Montgomery gets a first down on a hefty carry for the Detroit Lions. Not David Montgomery, excuse me. Number 13. Number 13. Forsdahl? I don't know if I've ever seen that guy before. 1st and 10 after the conversion here. Lions still driving under center. Goff takes the snap. It's another inside handoff to the running back. He doesn't have much room this time around. He'll get a yard, if that. Swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Taking a lot of time off of the clock so far is Detroit on this opening drive. A good balance of pass and run plays. Coming up on 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Well over 7 minutes of possession so far. 2nd and 8. And the Raiders will take their first time out of the half. So I guess Marcus Peters was walking over to the sideline. Not sure if he was trying to get subbed out or figure out what the play was, but they bring up the back injury that he's had lingering these past few weeks. And I guess that's the reason the Raiders got to burn a timeout there. So they'll burn a timeout, but the game clock will continue to roll. I don't know what ESPN's doing with the game clock. Somebody messed up. It only says 25 seconds left in the first. Okay, that was just the timeout clock then. 8.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. I knew I wasn't crazy. 2nd and 8 now for Jared Goff and the Lions. It's a stacked box for the Raiders, so they'll change up the formation at the line. Goff checks it into a single back jumbo formation. It's going to be an inside handoff, and Max Crosby is all over it. Flying off of the edge from the blind side is number 98, Mad Max, who is an absolute menace for the Raiders. I'm not a big Raiders fan, but I am a pretty big Max Crosby fan, and that guy is one of the best in the league at just disrupting plays. You know, he's not going to get home every single time. He's not going to get 3-4 sacks a game, but he's going to be in your face for 99% of the game if you're an offensive lineman or even if you're an opposing quarterback. Great player, great hustle. Out of the shotgun with a man in motion, Goff takes the snap, pressure coming, fires from the pocket, looking end zone, and not able to hook up with Sam Laporta, who is covered well by the Raiders secondary. That'll bring up 4th and 8, which I think will be our first field goal attempt of the night, which, going back to our prize picks that I referred to earlier, bodes well for us because we do have some field goals on the docket tonight. Riley Patterson for Detroit. We need more than 1.5 from 44 yards away on the right hash. The kick is up. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. So the Lions will end up with points after a long first drive to start this football game, and they are up 3-0 over the Las Vegas Raiders. A productive drive for this Lions offense, and a lot of things tonight that we would like to see again. The production for not only Jared Goff throwing it through the air, but the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs is a welcome sight, especially for a lot of the people who picked him to have the over tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure as we await the Vegas Raiders opening drive. No activity tonight so far for Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is finally healthy this week, according to the fantasy app. So hopefully they can get him involved and he can see some action as well. Still have plenty of football left to be played. But how we doing, folks? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Again, a game day stream isn't something we normally do on the Cannon Fire podcast channel, but I had my prize picks tonight and I didn't feel like watching the game alone. So I figured I'd fire up the old stream machine, go live on the YouTube channel, hang out with you guys and talk. Mikey Kelly, how you doing, man? Sorry I've been ignoring you guys in chat. I had to call the game. Richard T says, I picked Detroit for my survivor pool. I also picked Detroit. I don't think they're going to cover, but I think they're going to win. Chizu Mazu, what's up, man? How you doing? Mikey Kelly, 5K subscribers by the end of the Bucs season. I think that's manageable. I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to expect it by any means, but that would be pretty cool if we could hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the regular season. Just a couple of months left. Christmas, even better. How was everyone's day, says Mikey Kelly. Good, man. Woke up early. Got to work. Finished work about 11:15. Got home by noon. And then you know what I did? I took a nap. Yeah, I did. I took a nap today. And it felt great. I slept from about 1:30 p.m. to 5:30-ish. And then I woke up, started getting some stuff ready for the live stream. Went and got some Taco Bell for dinner because we eat healthy around here. Mikey Kelly says he's going to the Bucs-Titans game. So is Chizu Mazu. I'm going to try and go. There's only a few more home games this year, which is crazy to think about as we are barely halfway into the regular season, but only a handful of games left to pick from. You haven't had wings until you had whiskey wings. I'll tell you what about whiskey wings. If you're talking about the ones in Temple Terrace, the sports bar that I think you are, that's serious business. Those chicken wings are no joke, man. No joke. Joanne, I would take you, but I'm worried that the Bucs would lose. You're not really the best of luck. I don't know. We'll make it happen. If tickets are cheap enough, which they should be, then we'll make it happen. 7:51 left to go in the first quarter of this football game. Fox back to kick things off for the Lions, as the Raiders are back deep to receive. Kind of a short kick. We'll see if it goes back out of the end zone, and it will. So this will be a touchback, and the Raiders, with Jimmy G back under the helm, will take over at the 25-yard line. Jimmy G's career on Monday Night Football through 7 games has a 5-1 record as a starter, 12 passing touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions, with 4 straight victories over his last 4 Monday Night Football appearances. The Raiders offense averaging 16 points a game, 30th in the NFL, so looking to get some offense from them tonight. Single back formation, Jimmy G, play action, drops back, pressure coming, has time in the pocket, pump fakes, finds Josh Jacobs on a check down, who with a big stiff arm and some more room to run. He'll get a first down, but there is a flag. So we'll see. This one might be coming back. That's the assumption. No foul for holding. Play stands, first down, so they will take a look and then call it back. And that's fine. I don't think a lot of people are going to be too upset over that. There's your scoreboard. Let me know if that looks okay to you guys. Hopefully you can see. Whiskey Wings is the best wings in Oldsmar. The one that I had was over in Temple Terrace by USF, but good stuff regardless, man. Absolutely delicious. First and 10 now after the conversion. Jimmy G out of the shotgun, has time, looking to pass, pressure collapsing. Oh, hits Josh Jacobs right in the hands. And he cannot hang on to that football. Looked like Jimmy G had more time, but then the left guard got absolutely blown up. And he just had 2 players at his feet, had to make a play, so gets rid of the football there. Trying to get it to Jacoby Myers, but that read wasn't there. Had to switch over to Josh Jacobs, and I don't think Jacobs was ready for the play. Under center now, offset I. Jimmy G with an inside handoff to Josh Jacobs on the counter. Not sure if that was a design counter, but Jacobs pretty much got the ball and changed direction immediately. And he'll be wrapped up in the backfield by Walker, the safety for Detroit. So a big first down play, but nothing doing there on a couple of carries for Josh Jacobs. Big third down now, looking to avoid coming off of the field. Jimmy G out of the shotgun with a man in motion as the running back. Stacked box by the Lions, but they are playing soft coverage. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. He's going to roll to the left, trying to find some time. Still looking. He'll keep it and run. Can he reach the sticks? As Jimmy G lowers the shoulder and runs directly into Alex Anzalone, the linebacker for Detroit. He's about a yard short. But Jimmy G, a guy who, in my opinion, is not in any place to be putting his body on the line, goes out on a limb but comes up short. It'll be 4th and 1. Here comes the punt unit. Yeah, those Lions helmets are garbage, man. I hate them. I hate them. If they had a different logo, I wouldn't mind them. It's just the choice of logo is so tacky. Like, I don't know who thought that looked good. Mikey Kelly, you been to the Oldsmar flea market lately? No, I have not. I need to, but it's been a couple months since I've been like really flea marketing. I think the last time I hit up Oldsmar, I had a friend go with me, and we went in like June. I think it was like June, like end of May or June was the last time I went. But the thing with Oldsmar, and you can probably attest to this, Mikey, is that like I feel like if I go to Oldsmar and then I go again like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, it's not different enough for me to keep going back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Oldsmar. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the biggest flea markets we have left, especially around Tampa. It's like the only one we have left. But it's a lot of the same stuff. And a lot of the people who have been there for a long time. And for some reason at Oldsmar, more so than other flea markets, some people kind of have that attitude of like, oh, I know what I got. No low balls, you know. So you got to pick and choose. Do you like 7-Eleven wings or a 7-Eleven pizza more? That's a loaded question. It feels like I'm going to get in trouble if I answer, but I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a 7-Eleven pizza, so I will go 7-Eleven wings, but I know that that's probably the riskier choice. I will tell you a guilty pleasure that I have, and like this is like one of my worst habits, I think. I don't want to say a specific brand because I think every store buys them from the same place or the same wholesale dealer. But have you ever had those gas station egg rolls, like at Racetrack or 7-Eleven or even Wawa in the Sizzly container by the front register? They've got the egg rolls. Oh, like I said, it's an awful habit. I feel like a drug addict when I talk about it. But yeah, those egg rolls, man, they do something to me. For 7-Eleven food, they're pretty damn good. I'll be right back. I got to get a bottle opener because I didn't think I needed one. We are back on Monday Night Football at Ford Field, live on ESPN. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the booth. It is the Lions and the Raiders getting ready for some action. The Lions ready to go for their second offensive possession. Under center now with a man in motion. Goff, it's going to be a handoff. Jahmyr Gibbs back in the game. He'll get about 4 yards there. Some good, like I said before, good, consistent carry so far from the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. When you've got a high-quality offensive line like the Lions do, definitely opens up some lanes and makes it look easier, but he's done a solid job so far tonight. Eggs? What are you talking about, eggs? I wasn't talking about 7-Eleven eggs. I was talking about gas station egg rolls. Gas station eggs might send you to the hospital. Jared Goff out of the shotgun, pressure coming, has time, changes direction, and he finds a receiver. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he drops it. That ball is out. Robert Spillane recovers. And the Raiders are in business deep in Lions territory. What a mistake by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, that's Josh Reynolds, number 8, the wide receiver. Excuse me, not Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sorry, I'm not as up to date on these depth charts with these two teams as I am with a team like the Bucs. I don't watch the Lions or the Raiders every week, so I appreciate your patience with these names. But that's Josh Reynolds coughing it up, and the Raiders will get their 6th takeaway of the season, which is tied for fewest in the NFL. So they're right back at it from the 24-yard line. Jimmy G back in the game at shotgun position. Devontae Adams, the man in motion, takes the snap, has time, fires to the right side, looking end zone, intercepted! We've got back-to-back turnovers! Kirby Joseph, the defensive back for the Detroit Lions, takes advantage of the deep shot from Jimmy G, and the Lions take the ball right back. How about that? That is why we watch the game. Oh, they're doing the Thriller dance in the end zone. A risky throw by Jimmy G. Looking end zone. Just doesn't have enough mustard on it. Comes up short. And it's a big play. That's exciting. That's exciting. So we'll see what the Lions do as they basically get the ball back from the same spot that Jared Goff threw the interception just a few short moments ago. We'll take a quick TV commercial break as we get ready for what's next. Crazy play. Crazy play. Crazy stuff. So checking in on the prize picks, Jared Goff at 39 passing yards. Only needs about 228 more for us to hit. Riley Patterson has 1 out of 2 field goals needed for the night. He needs to be over 1.5, so 1 more is a win for the Detroit Lions kicker. Jacoby Myers needs 61.5 receiving yards. So far, he has 0. Did get targeted one time, but was not enough. Aiden Hutchinson, no sack so far tonight. Devontae Adams, no reception so far tonight. Jimmy G was looking to hook up with him for the first time in the end zone there, but obviously came up short and was intercepted. We need a Sam Laporta or Josh Reynolds score. That's what we need. We need either of those guys in the end zone for that first ticket. Going on to the second ticket, Josh Jacobs, more than 57.5 rushing yards. It says he's at 0, but I want to believe that that's incorrect, but it might not be. It actually might not be, because I think that first down he had was a catch out of the backfield. So, don't like that one so far. Amon-Ra St. Brown, no receiving yards yet. Sam Laporta, 6 yards so far tonight for him. We need 44 more. Jahmyr Gibbs already 38 yards from scrimmage. We need him to go over 101.5. So pretty good start and a productive first quarter for the Lions rookie. Alex Anzalone needs more than 7 tackles. He's already got 1 if we're counting the Jimmy G play earlier as a tackle. Aiden Hutchinson needs a sack as well. And then the basketball plays. Benedict Mathurin needs 4 more points for us to win that there. Here's Goff on the play fake. Play action out of the backfield. Finds his tight end, who is not Sam Laporta. Amik Robinson, I think, was the guy who made the tackle there. It's going to be no gain. 2nd and 10 now. We have got some breaking Tampa Bay Buccaneer news. So I don't know if you guys saw earlier today, but the LA Rams attempted to sign John Wolford from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice squad, and that will not be the case. The Bucs are planning to sign practice squad QB John Wolford to their 53-man roster after the Rams attempted to do so. Tampa Bay is willing to carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster up until this point. So the Bucs blocking a move there, and I think showing a priority to keep John Wolford when another team tries to sign him. Not only does it show that you like Wolford as a QB3, but maybe there are some question marks at the quarterback position. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I didn't say it. I'm not the one who said it. Big third down now for the Lions. It was an incomplete pass on 2nd down, so now they will try and convert after just getting the ball back. Empty backfield now. 4 wide receivers out there for the Lions. Jared Goff, 3 seconds left on the play clock. From the 11, takes the snap. Pressure coming, rolls to his left, gets away from a tackler, fires downfield. It's a wobbly football off target, and it goes out of bounds. That will fall incomplete and bring up 4th and 10. So the Lions going to be forced to punt deep out of their own territory here. Very interesting development, though, with the QB3 for the Bucs, John Wolford, tonight. A couple hours ago, we find out that the Rams, with the injury to Stafford, are looking to field another QB, and they wanted Wolford back, and the Bucs did not want that to happen, so they signed him to the active roster. Interesting moves, for sure. You ever been to one of those gas stations in the city that sells hot chicken and etc.? We got one right by my house, and it is called, I think it's called Kay's Kitchen, K-A-Y' Kitchen, and it's actually delicious. I guess they're like viral on TikTok, like they're one of those businesses who has a TikTok and makes plates that look really good, but I have yet to try it. Fried light bulb chicken, I love it. Some of that stuff hits, man. When I was a kid, by the way, the punt, good. The Raiders fielded around the 40-yard line, so they'll take a break and they'll come back here in a minute. When I was a kid, me and my dad used to stop at this one gas station every morning on the way to school, and it'd be like 6:45 in the morning. I had to be there at 7 because he had to be at work, I think, at 7:30 or 7:45 or something like that. So we would stop at this gas station, and when I was a kid, I would go right up to the hot food counter. And I don't know why my brain thought that the corn dogs were like breakfast corn dogs, but they weren't. They were just regular corn dogs. So every morning I would get 2 corn dogs, and I'd wolf them down for breakfast. And I was telling everybody for months that they were just, breakfast corn dogs from this gas station down the road. Nope, they were just regular-ass corn dogs. At 7 in the morning, eating 2 corn dogs. Shout out Mikey Kelly. Appreciate you being here and being so active, man. Mikey, call in. I want to hear from you. Anybody call in. 305-224-1968. The meeting ID tonight is 8156-1099. Would love to get some interaction in here as we react to Monday Night Football. Again, looking for a competitive game down the stretch between two pretty good teams. I mean, the Raiders, looking like the worst team in that division, especially after the big upset win by Denver over KC last weekend. But I still think it's going to be a good game down the stretch. I think it'll be close. Like I said, I think the Lions win. I don't think they cover. We are back on Monday Night Football, taking a look at the last 30 years of Detroit Lions football. Not a lot of good to be said, but again, the run that they have been on this last season and a half has been something to admire, especially from a fan with an outside perspective here. Here are the Raiders out of the I formation. It's going to be a crack toss to Josh Jacobs, who fights his way inside, picks up about 5 yards. It'll be second and short. Josh Jacobs wearing number 8. Second and 5 now for Detroit. Goff under center. It's going to be an inside handoff once again to Josh Jacobs. So it sets up a critical third and short. Looks like we got a caller. From the 813, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, hey, it's MK.
Hey, say that again. Sorry, I had to put my headphone back in.
Gary, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, buddy?
This is MK. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Nothing too much, man. What about them? I was at that game on against the Falcons. Terrible, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like... I mean, it just seems like a lot of the losses so far this year for Tampa Bay, like, it's just, they're so frustrating to watch because it's not like they're losing these games in close fashion. Like, the box score will tell you that. You know, the box score says they only lost by, 5-6 points to the Bills last week, 14 to the Lions.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You know, and the Falcons game was close. It came down to the last-minute field goal. But it feels like they should have lost that game 34-10. Like, there's so much about the losses this year for them that feels like everything is just falling apart, and it's definitely getting frustrating for sure.
Yeah, and kick back to the week before against the Lions. I was at the game also, and, like, you guys could probably see it on TV, but it seemed like half the stadium, all you see is blue.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know that you're at every game, or you try to go to at least every game, and a lot of people who don't even go to the games are up in arms about, you know, all the other fans, teams in the stadium, you know, ruining the game day experience. But I mean, in my opinion, I haven't been to as many games as you have, I'm sure, but I've been going to games for, you know, almost 20 years, and it's like I feel like this has just always been an issue for us because of where we are.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, the Lions game, it was noticeably bad, at least for me. And, like, I was one of the people, I was right behind, the field goal post on the opposite side of the pirate ship. I was on the opposite side, and, like, it was really bad, in my opinion. Like, right behind the Lions sidelines, obviously, it's just straight blue.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't think there was one section, the whole entire stadium did not have blue. And then the Falcons game, well, since the Falcons have, like, most the same color as us, like the red.
Yeah.
The red jerseys, the Falcons jerseys, kind of blended into the stadium.
Yeah, when
you're walking around, like, I didn't see too much, but
when you're playing a team with similar colors, it always looks better on TV. But, you know, I guess the Lions could be grouped into this fan group, but, like, Philly fans, Steelers fans, Bills fans, you know, I feel like whenever it's at its worst is when it's a fan group that travels notoriously well, like the Cowboys. You know, as I mentioned before, the Steelers, and even this year, the the Eagles fans. Like, I was at the Philly game, and that was pretty bad. But it was also like,
Yeah,
it was also like, in my opinion, it was like 50-50, like 60-40 almost. And I feel like I still look around at some of these other destination cities around the league. You know, I think the team who has it the worst is the LA Rams, because whenever they play the Raiders, whenever they play the Niners, it's an away game for them. You know what I mean? Like, it is terrible in their stadium. And I don't know if I've ever seen it get quite that bad in Raymond James, but I definitely think that, you know, the opposing fan sucks, but I also feel like it comes with the territory.
yeah. Well, is it one person that is driving me? Like, I'm nothing against them, but like seeing Keyshawn Vaughn playing as much as he does drives me crazy. Even though Chase Edmonds has been hurt, I'm on the side. Like, I would rather see Sean Tucker out there.
Yeah, I think Chase Edmonds came back last week, and the Bucs only ran the ball. I think Rachaad White only ran the ball like 8 times, and he was having a pretty solid game, but they were playing from behind, obviously, down 24-10 there in the third quarter, so they had to abandon the run last week. But I do think having Chase Edmonds back, I don't think it's going to revitalize that running back room, because I don't think they're all of a sudden going to become like a really good group, but I would be interested to see what it looks like with Chase Edmonds being your primary running back too, because just like you said, we know that Keyshawn Vaughn isn't the guy. In my opinion, he's taken snaps away from guys like Rachaad White, Chase Edmonds, who is now back off of IR, and then even Sean Tucker, as you said, who is a huge unknown, because the first 2 weeks of the season, he got a little bit of action, but that was it. And we have not seen him dress at all over the last 3 weeks. So hopefully he finds a role and he can get back into that rotation, because there is just a lot of unproven, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say unproven talent, because I don't think these guys are the most talented bunch, but there is a lot of unproven ability, I will say, because we don't quite know what we have fully in Chase Edmonds and Sean Tucker, in my opinion. I think we fully know what we have with Rachaad White, even though he does have room to get better. And I think we fully know what we have with Keyshawn Vaughn, because we've known that for a year and a half. That guy sucks.
Yeah, I'll let you go soon, but based off, I was just thinking, like, based off how Devin White is playing, like, this season, what do you think we're going to do with him after this year? Like, franchise tag or a contract?
You know,
or even let him go?
It's kind of crazy, because Todd Bowles had mentioned today the trade deadline coming up in 24 hours. Tomorrow is the trade deadline for the NFL, so I do think there's a small chance, and by small chance, I mean like 10 to 20% chance that maybe if the right offer is there, a team who is hungry for a linebacker tries to make a move for him tomorrow, but I don't think that happens. I don't think there's enough time or interest between him and Mike Evans, who are really the two big trade bait pieces the Bucs have right now, so I don't think the trade deadline is where he gets moved, but I don't think he has played well enough to garner another contract in Tampa Bay. And I think it's partially because of the circus that he made over the offseason, you know, requesting a trade and being vocal about it and being passive aggressive on social media, you know, just all the petty, childish stuff that nobody likes to see, but sometimes you have to see it with these athletes. I don't think his play has backed up any of that talk that he was talking over the offseason. And that's going to be an issue for the Bucs. That's going to be an issue for him wanting to be paid as a $100 million linebacker. It's going to be an issue for any other team that wants to pay him what he thinks he's worth. And it's going to be an issue for the Bucs, because if anybody's going to lowball him at this rate, I think it is Tampa Bay. I will say that, you know, this defense has shown me that without Levante David, without Vita Vea, it is not the same defense. But without Devin White at some times, I think it can mostly be the same defense, especially because he just hasn't been productive this year. Doesn't have any sacks. No QB sacks this year for Devin White. And, like, that's his bread and butter. You know, he's not a good coverage back. He's a good off-ball linebacker. He's good at creating pressure, creating takeaways, and getting sacks. And he hasn't really done any of that this year. So I am curious to see what kind of run he has in the second half of the season. But if he signs a contract extension next year, I personally don't think it's in Tampa Bay. I am mentally preparing myself for this to be his last season as a Buck, and even Mike Evans' last season as a Buck, I think.
Damn, I was just thinking about Mike Evans. I get it, business is business, but he's the one that would take me a few. Like that would truly stink. Because I have his cream slow jersey and his red jersey, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming most of the fans. I'm not gonna make assumptions, but a lot of the people who watch your channel, your guys' podcast, I'm assuming most of us are young. So like, probably a lot of us grew up watching Mike Evans play, Levante David. In a few years, when these people are on our team, whether it's retirement for Levante or Mike Evans goes somewhere else, like this team is gonna look almost completely different. I mean, not completely, but like it's just gonna feel weird, especially without Mike Evans, even though he's not been playing that well this year.
Yeah, it's a weird transition the Bucs. It's a weird position the Bucs are in right now because we talk about, coming into this year, the Bucs are going to be competitive because of the Super Bowl talent that they have left. And there's a lot of guys from that core group of players, but some of the longtime starters, like you said, Levante David, Mike Evans, William Golston might be in that conversation. And even some of the big name free agents, let's just say Devin White. We're getting ready over the next few years to see what this Bucs team is going to look like without some of those big guys that they have relied on for over 10 years. And it's definitely an interesting spot. And as big of a Mike Evans fan as I am, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's one of my favorite Bucs of all time. I wear my red Mike Evans every week. You got to rep the boy. He's been doing it for so long for us. He has been the catalyst for the Buccaneers offense since 2014. He has been that dude. He has been an example of consistency in the NFL. He is an example of what a number one wide receiver should be in the NFL, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of talented receivers in the NFL, but not every single one of them can be a number one wide receiver. Mike Evans has been that, but unfortunately, I think between some of the miscues in the early half of the season and maybe some of the nonverbal stuff, I think the ship may have sailed for Evans and the Bucs. If he takes the team-friendly deal because he doesn't get what he thinks he is worth from other teams, then maybe the Bucs can find a way to hang on to him. But when you're looking at paying Mike Evans over $20 million a year and then also paying Chris Godwin over $20 million a year, that's an expensive wide receiver room. And in my opinion, I think Chris Godwin can be a number one wide receiver for 31 out of 32 NFL teams, and I think the Bucs know that too. So I think all of that is going to play a factor into how aggressive they get with hanging on to Mike Evans after this season. But I hope a deal gets done, but I don't know how realistic it's going to be. Bucs in a very tough spot. Mike, any final thoughts before I let you go, my friend? Lions in scoring position.
No, go ahead. You're all good. It was nice talking to you, man.
Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate you calling in, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Bucs.
See you.
So we'll get a timeout on 4th and goal. Actually, a delay of game on 4th and goal from the Lions, and we will take our next call. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Rhett?
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
My name's Deontay.
Deontay, what's up? You've called in before.
I've been in the super chat before. It's my first time calling.
Okay, my mistake. Well, good talking to you, man. Thanks for calling in. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Just a big fan of you guys, you and Buck Nation, since I want to say 2018. So it's finally good to actually get you on the phone, talk about my beloved Bucks.
Hell yeah, dude. What a great time to do it. As just checking in on Monday Night Football, Detroit kicks their second field goal of the game to put them up 6-0, which, Deontay, I don't know if you heard, but that means my prize picks is hit for another pick on the 6-leg parlay. I got my field goals over 1.5 for the night, so I am in a great mood. What is on your mind about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
That is great. I haven't hit on any prize picks, so that's good to see somebody getting some love. But about my Buccaneers, I just want to touch on the Mike Evans and the business side part of it. So people, Mike Evans in the last year of his deal. And truthfully, as a fan of Mike, of course, as a Buccaneers fan, we have to cheer for the front side of the jersey no matter what, and not the back. But I do not want to go back to what this offense looks like without 13 on the field. It is abysmal. There's a lot of tears, a lot of sadness without Mike on that field. We need Mike hopefully they could work out some type of deal where he just stays in Tampa for the rest of his career. Because the way teams would play us, if we didn't have Mike out there, it would look pretty. I'm just asking this question. If Mike Evans wasn't on the field for all these 7 games, what do you think our offense would look like?
Oh, man. And this is already an offense that is under so much scrutiny so far up into this season because of their lack of effectiveness. The one constant thing this season of all seasons, too, that has gotten the Buccaneers offense running is Mike Evans. At least this season, the offense starts and stops with number 13. Even if he gets 40, 50 yards, it's going to open the door for some other guys to show up. But if Mike is blanketed the entire game,
right,
it seems like this offense cannot do much of anything. And I think that's something that not a lot of Bucs fans realize as well. Because like you said, we think about what this offense looked like before Mike Evans showed up all the way in 2014. I mean, it's been so long.
And look who was throwing him the ball in 2014.
Yeah, Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, he's still able to hit 1,000 yards. And even when the Bucs were a bad team, even when they were awful teams, going 5-11, 6-10 with Jameis Winston as their quarterback, they always had a top 10 offense. They always have had a productive offense as long as Mike Evans has been a play. Yeah. And just like you said, there's a lot of murkiness about what an offense without Mike Evans is going to look like. Even if his role has deteriorated a bit just because, he's not getting 12 targets a game like he once did back in the day, he's still a weapon. He's still a number 1 wide receiver. And just like you said, I think not a lot of people think about just how important he is to this offense, even if he's just out there taking away coverage from someone else.
Exactly. Defensive coordinators, they stay up late at night for Mike Evans and the Buccaneers. When you think of Buccaneer offense, you think about number 13. It's been that way since we drafted him. Even when we drafted him, we had Vincent Jackson, who was older at the time. He was still a pretty good player. He made a Pro Bowl with us. So he's rest in peace. But yes, and I'm not trying to hark on our new offensive coordinator because, it's midway through the season and the new offense, he's got new players, quarterback, all that stuff. Interior line isn't very good, but a game plan where Mike doesn't get about 8 to 9 targets in a game, we're hurting ourselves doing that. You got to give this man a chance. I know teams do a lot of bracket coverage, a lot of two-shell, over the top. A lot of coverage gets to Mike Evans, but it is your job. You get paid millions of dollars to scheme guys open. They did it with Diggs. Diggs didn't have a very, loud game, but they schemed him open. They found ways to give him the ball, and I wish we could just do that with Mike instead of just chucking it downfield and having him get a flag or making an unbelievable catch, which he's done all his career.
I will say as far as the offensive game plan for this year goes, when you compare it to 2022, the last year of Byron Leftwich's offense, we were screaming this time last year, why the hell are they not throwing the ball to Mike Evans? He's out there. He's just not getting the football. And that was an issue. But the issue last year was, one, they weren't getting creative with any of the plays they gave him. If you remember, we had Tom Brady, who statistically in Tampa Bay was one of the best red zone quarterbacks ever. And for some reason in 2022, they just didn't target Mike in the end zone. They didn't run any fades. They didn't run any shallow crossers, to open up anything over the middle. I mean, it was tough sledding in the early half of that season for Mike Evans. Also, the mental mistakes that he had. But when you look at the Bucs in 2023 and you look at this Dave Canales offense, especially on film, the passing concepts are working. They are working at getting these guys open better than they did in 2022. But this is going to be the major tipping point for a lot of people. Baker's got to make the throws. I'm a fan of Baker. I still am rooting for the guy. I think he's got a few more weeks left until he gets benched. But my 2 biggest issues are that, 1, he just doesn't always see the entire field. And 2, whenever he does take the time to see the field, he hangs onto the ball too long. And when you hang onto the ball too long, you miss out on the top ends of routes. You miss out on guys being open like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. You hang onto the ball too long and you try to make a play and you force an interception like they did in the red zone last week against the Falcons. There's a lot of, last week. Yeah, with a chance to win it against the Falcons. Sorry, a couple weeks ago. Time is flying, so these weeks are blending together. But if Baker makes some of those throws this year to Mike Evans, there was a big first down incompletion against Buffalo. There was another target where Mike was wide open. I think it was a big third down in the creamsicle game, and he just dropped it. But between not being able to hit the deep ball,
he held on to it and tried to come upfield and lost the ball. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
that.
Between
I consider those drops too.
Between Baker not hitting those passes and obviously the Mike Evans drops, I mean, that's probably 2 wins on the season we're talking about if Baker just makes those throws and Mike Evans makes those catches. I mean, this isn't coulda, shoulda, woulda, but when we talk about the game plan and scheming these guys open, I think Canales has done a pretty decent job. Like, he's taken his lumps as a first-year play caller, and I think he's going to have some more bad games, but I do think he has enough humility to look at what he did wrong and move forward and try and get better, because I think he's done a lot wrong, but I certainly think he's doing a lot of things right too.
I do too. I don't, nobody's, perfect in this league, and it's obviously a copycat league as well. I wish we'd implement, some a lot more fly sweeps, a lot more motion into our game plan, but we can't have it our way with everything. I just hope he just uses this offense to his strengths, which is 14 and 13, man. Those guys, I mean, they should be getting 20 targets.
Hey,
And then we have to find some extension of the run game. Maybe if it's bubble screens, smoke screens, fly motions, even some, Rashad White's been doing a very good job in the passing game. Use him a little bit more, but we are hurting for a third pass catcher.
Yeah, 70 yards.
DT, Jarrett, Otten, some of these guys, man.
Yeah, 70 yards receiving for Rashad.
We need another third pass catcher.
70 yards receiving for Rashad White last week. I'm hoping to see that number goes up because, again, one of the reasons we talked about, maybe not why the run game in particular is struggling, but this running back room in particular, when I look at Rashad White, I think the Bucs kind of lied about how they were going to use him over the offseason. They made it seem like he was ready to be a 3-down back, which is fine if he's not. But when he's on the field, you can see that he's effective catching the ball out of the backfield. He's maybe not the best north and south runner, but, the offensive line has got to get a little bit better for him. But I do think they are finally learning how to use him correctly. But one more thing I was going to say, and I wanted to ask you about, 13 and 14, big catch over the middle from Amon-Ra St. Brown, by the way, as he has got plenty of room down the sideline. He'll run out of bounds, but it's a gain of probably over 40 yards for Jared Goff.
Well, that is good for my fantasy team because I have him, and that's just about it.
I got St. Brown over receiving yards tonight, so I love to see that too, that connection from Goff to St. Brown. But
that price pick should hit.
One last question about this receiver room. You talked about Mike Evans and obviously his importance, but when we look ahead to what this Bucs offense might look like without big number 13, point blank, do you think Chris Godwin has what it takes to be a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL? Because he's kind of already being paid like one.
Oh, man. You know what? When you play next to 13, a lot of good things happen because chances are you're not going to get the best corner on you every week. That's going to go to 13. So to answer that, I don't. And honestly, it also goes to who's throwing him the football. Now, if Brady was still here, and Mike wasn't here, and Brady was throwing you the ball, then, my chances would be a lot higher. But since you got Baker back there throwing you the ball and no Mike, and that coverage is rolling to you now instead of Mike, it's going to get a lot tougher. So, no, I don't think he's ready to be a bona fide number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, no. But I think he's a very good, he's Pro Bowl caliber player. Because Godwin was great, but a number 1, those are the guys where it's 3rd and 10, and everybody knows where the ball is going, and you come up with that catch. And 13 has proved that over his time in the year. I just don't know if I can give that to CG just yet.
Yeah, it's a level-headed answer. I definitely didn't expect it, but I can appreciate it because it makes a lot of sense. Like you said, you don't know until you know, and there's a lot of these guys who look good on paper. They look like they check all the boxes, but once you put them out there 3, 4, 5 games in a row and the pressure is on week in and week out, it changes your routine as a player. It changes how you approach the game. And for Chris Godwin, that increase in responsibility would definitely be a lot of pressure. So it'd be interesting to see. But Deontay, good talking to you, my friend. Any last thoughts before I let you go here?
Last thoughts. I still think this team makes the playoffs. I really do. I really do. I think a lot of things have to be in consideration with just how we approach games and how we execute during those games. Like a lot of these losses, we have a lot of penalties. I think that can be corrected. Hopefully Todd Bowles can get that corrected. And I think, Baker can settle down a little bit. Don't try to overdo it and just get some nice, easy passes, man. And we can move the ball since we're not getting in the end zone. So if we can find that little niche, I think we can win this division and make it to the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, well, the division is wide open as the NFC South is right now. You can never count out Tampa Bay. Only half a game back after the big loss last weekend from Atlanta to Tennessee. Excuse me, I wanted to say Houston.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Houston because they had the throwback uniforms.
Well, they had the Houston jerseys on, so I don't, I know you're probably not old enough to remember that. Neither am I, but
well, did you
those
see?
Are the Houston Oilers jerseys.
I don't know if you saw, but Tennessee actually sued the University of Houston because the University of Houston wore some Oilers-inspired throwbacks earlier this season. And the day
after,
I
did not know that.
Yeah, the day after the Titans wear theirs, they send out a cease and desist to Houston and says that they will sue if they ever try and wear anything Houston derivative again, which is incredible. I mean, that we got colleges out here stealing NFL logos, but if you wear a certain uniform, you end up with a lawsuit from the NFL. Not a good look, but yeah, it's going to be interesting here down the stretch.
I was thinking about going to Houston this weekend, too, to catch the game. I just might do that.
Oh, that'd be a good time. I think it's going to be a good game. I think,
yeah, and I'm a Buckeyes fan, so I want to see C.J. Stroud do good, too, but not too damn good.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, he looks like the best rookie quarterback of the bunch so far, so you definitely got to like what you see as an OSU fan.
I think so, too, but there's a certain famous analyst that takes Bryce Young, who just won his first game over C.J. Stroud. It's funny. It's funny how people.
I get it, man. All right, well, I appreciate you calling in. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, man.
All right, shout out to our friend Deontay as we get back to this game from 33 yards away. It looks like the Lions are pulling away here, making this a 9-point game, the third field goal of the night. 9-0. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this video feed real quick. I'm not sure why this resets every time I answer the phone. But it should be good now. We'll see if next time I can answer the phone without it messing up. If anybody calls, feel free. Phones are still on. 305-224-1968 is the number. The meeting ID is 892-8156-1099. We've got a barn burner happening on Monday Night Football here in the second quarter. 9-0. The Lions are up 2 possessions following that third straight field goal. No touchdown so far tonight, but a couple of turnovers for both of these teams to keep it just interesting enough. Appreciate our callers, our buddy Deontay, and of course our other friend Mikey Kelly from the Tampa Bay area calling in. Always good to hear from you guys. Frank G says, bring back the gift of Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert, loving life right now as the backup to Pat Mahomes in Kansas City, reunited with teammates Mike Edwards and Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith, who gave up a crucial sack last week in that Kansas City loss to Denver. Let's check in on the prize picks real quick. I know I keep doing that, but I'm trying to kill some time while we are here on a commercial break. We're making some steady progress. I still need an Aiden Hutchinson sack. I probably could have gone with a Max Crosby sack because he's been all over the place tonight except for on the quarterback. But Jared Goff, 154 passing yards in that first half. We've got him more than 268, so I feel pretty strongly about that, especially if they get the ball back. But we'll see what the Raiders can try and do to get back into this game and how long they hang on to the football. Hopefully they start throwing the ball to Jacoby Myers, who has 0 yards. Devontae Adams also has 0 receptions, so no offense at all tonight for the Raiders. Between Sam Laporta and Josh Reynolds, neither of them have found the end zone, so this one, I don't know how strongly I feel. I know it is coming up on halftime, so we still have plenty of football left to be played, but you like the momentum in a lot of these situations here. Josh Jacobs, we have him more than 57.5 rushing yards. He only has 12. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, we've got him more than 88.5 receiving yards, and after a huge pair of back-to-back drives, he has got 88 receiving yards. So one more catch from Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's a win on that ticket for us. Sam Laporta need more than 50.5 receiving yards. He's got 15, I believe, on 3 catches so far tonight. Alex Anzalone, the linebacker for Detroit, needs more than 7 tackles. It says he has 0, but I don't know if that's true. I think he has more than 1. And Aiden Hutchinson still needs a sack, of course. The final ticket we have for tonight. Looks like we got a couple of guys that hit, which makes me feel great. Tyler Seguin and Benedict Mathurin, the forward for the Indiana Pacers. Both of those guys hit, which means I need Corbin Carroll more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs tonight in the World Series. Walker Kessler more than 14.5 points plus rebounds. Devontae Adams receiving yards, and of course Josh Jacobs rushing yards. Here's a quick check down to the tight end for the Raiders on first down. They'll pick up about 6 yards. So back on offense goes Jimmy G and the Vegas Raiders as they try and find some sort of footing in this game. It's been a productive first half for one of these teams and not the other. A lot of offense for the Lions as they lead 9-0. No touchdowns, but they've done a good job of controlling the game and keeping it a 2-possession game. Only 1 first down on the day for the Raiders. They hand it to Josh Jacobs, who has their second first down of the day. He bowls over a defender and then picks up another couple of yards there. Show me them green lines. I love green lines. Give me green lines. Jimmy G under center now. 6 carries, 21 yards for Josh Jacobs, averaging 3.5 yards per carry. It's the I formation, a fullback in the game. It's a crack toss to the left side. Jacobs cuts inside, gets around a defender, and he'll pick up about 5 yards. Aiden Hutchinson is there to bring him down. There's going to be a flag. This might come back. Personal foul, illegal low block, defense number 23. That's against Jerry Jacobs, the defensive back for Detroit. A critical touchdown, or a critical penalty there. Give the Raiders a first down. Jacoby Myers out there at the line of scrimmage, out of the shotgun now. Play action fake. Jimmy G, pressure coming. Dumps it off to his Hooper. The tight end, Austin Hooper. He looked like he was going to fall for 8 yards, but he does keep his balance enough to pick up the first down there. Looks like the Raiders finally finding some offensive momentum. Now on 1st and 10. 6 minutes left to go in the first half from the I formation. 2 wide receiver set. Jimmy G under center takes the snap. It's a handoff to Josh Jacobs. Stutter step. Fights ahead and picks up about 7 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and short. The more you feed Josh Jacobs, the more consistent he gets. It seems like the yards per carry only seems to go up every time he gets the football. 8 carries for 32 yards tonight. 1 reception for 12 yards, averaging 4 yards a tote. 2nd and 3 now. Jacobs still the running back, single back formation. Offset I formation, the fullback still in there. Jimmy G under center with 2 wide receivers, takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Jacobs, who stutter steps, plows into the pile to get another first down. The most productive drive of the day for this Raiders offense. And it's being headed by Josh Jacobs at the running back position, making a lot happen. Definitely helps us tonight for the prize picks, as we just talked about. Josh Jacobs needing to get more of a roll. Already up to 44 rushing yards tonight. 5 minutes left to go in this first half. Out of the shotgun now with a man in motion. Jacoby Myers takes the snap. Jimmy G inside handoff, has blockers. Jacobs goes ahead right up the middle for another 7-yard gain. 2nd and 4, 7 plays, 66 yards on this current drive for the Raiders. Clock still running. Offset I formation with a man in motion. Jimmy G, inside handoff to Jacobs, who's going to fight his way forward for 3.5 yards. And I hope he gets back up. It looks like he went down in pain there. And he's going to come up and check out of the game on 3rd and 1. 47 yards rushing on 11 attempts, 4.3 yards a tote for Josh Jacobs, who definitely looks like he's going through some pain as he makes his way back to the sideline there. Not a good sight. Hopefully he can come back into this game. Oh, man, you hate to see that. Really hope he's just cramping up. Single back formation. Jimmy G going to keep it, and he'll pick up the first down on 3rd and 1 with a QB sneak deep in enemy territory. And Josh Jacobs, here he comes back into the game. Big number 8 calls his number and checks back in. The clock will continue to roll. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half of this football game. The Raiders trying to make their way back into this game, trailing 9-0, a 2-possession game. See if they can get within 2 here with a touchdown. Jimmy G now with a shotgun. Out of the shotgun with a man in motion, running back to his right. It's Josh Jacobs, takes the snap, inside handoff to Jacobs, who fights his way forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. A 3-yard rushing touchdown for Josh Jacobs, number 8, the running back, who helps take the Raiders 10 plays, 75 yards, and 5.5 minutes on that last drive to make it a 1-score game. You got to think no reason to go for 2 here. You just kick the extra point, make it a 2-point game instead of a 1-point game, because if you're playing for the field goal later anyways, you're still going to be up by 1, and that looks like what they'll do. So out comes the field goal kicker for the Raiders. From the center hash, kick is up, and it is good. The Raiders will tack on the PAT and make this a 2-point ball game. So at the end of the first half, the Lions offense with a chance to tack on some more points. But the Raiders are keeping it close with their biggest offensive drive of the night. 75 yards and a touchdown, courtesy of Josh Jacobs. Raiders run offense looking like the Bucs run offense. Don't speak too soon, Frank G, because they're already up over 50 yards rushing on the ground tonight, which for the Bucs, if they had 50 yards rushing in the first half of a game, that would be quite the development. Mike Evans scores 3 touchdowns himself, 60-yard TD, 40-yard TD, and then an 8-yard TD. 28-6 Bucs win on Sunday Fun Day, says Mikey Kelly. I'm going to Whiskey Wings Oldsmar to watch the Bucs beat the Texans 28-6. Sounds like a good afternoon. So as we await the final first half possession for the Detroit Lions, I'm going to refill my water. We'll be right back. This game, let me update the scoreboard too before I go. There you go. 2:56 left to go in the first half. 7-9 your score. Lions are up. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We are back. We have refilled our water, which is even better news. Phones are on, by the way, if you want to talk either tonight's game or anything NFL, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the rest of the league. Give us a call, 305-224-1968. Meeting ID is 892-8156-1099. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us in the live chat tonight. Doing my best to bring you some Monday Night Football coverage. I know the game day streams aren't something we do very often on this channel, but I didn't want to watch the game alone. I felt like jumping on here talking to some of the guys about the Bucs, and it has been a good decision thus far. So we'll get a return on the pop-up kickoff here from Detroit, fielded at the 10, brought down at the 20. There's a good look at that wild tattoo by Max Crosby. Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I guess his kid. That's a wild tattoo. That looks like it hurt. Two wide receivers set, single back for the Lions. Here's Goff under center, takes the snap, hands it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, who goes absolutely nowhere. He gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage by Max Crosby, who's got 5 tackles tonight in just the first half. Do I think Jimmy G is a top 3 quarterback? Absolutely not. Second and 10, empty backfield now with Jahmyr Gibbs lined up on the bottom of the screen. It might be a false start. Jared Goff, free play, fires over the middle, finds his receiver. That's Reynolds. Oh, Jamison Williams, excuse me. I thought that was Josh Reynolds, but that is not the case. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. A big first down for the Lions as they are now driving. That wakes up the Ford Field crowd. Two minutes left in the first half. Lions with the ball after a big-time first down. We'll take a quick break. Oh, there's Waldo. I forgot it's the Halloween tomorrow, so tonight a lot of people show up to the game dressed up in costumes, and I just saw Waldo in the crowd as they were going to break. I don't know yet, Mikey Kelly. I'm glad that you asked that. I've been thinking about that the last couple days, about the watch party. And I don't want to say no 100%, but if we do another one, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be at Berry House. So I have to find another venue, and I have to find one that is okay with like somewhat short notice. I thought about the Press Box in Tampa off of Del Mabry. That's a bar that I really like, but I don't know how busy they usually are on Bucs game days. I assume really busy. And I don't know if they'll have the room to accommodate us with a full podcast set up, but we will definitely try. I'm going to try. If we do have one this year, though, I don't think Evan's going to be able to make it. Sorry, my dog was eating something she shouldn't have been and had to put a stop to it. But we are still in the 2-minute warning as we await the end of this first half between the Raiders and the Detroit Lions here on Monday Night Football. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay live the whole game as well. That's something I have yet to determine. I know we got a couple of people who called in, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Mikey Kelly, Frank G., our buddy Richard from the West Coast, Chizu Mazu, Chris Mail, Brad, Joanne, anybody else who chimed in tonight, I appreciate you guys. But maybe the first half, I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling at halftime. We'll see if I get any more phone calls. Back in Ford Field to close out this first half. Jared Goff back to pass. Finds Jahmyr Gibbs on a check down, who shakes a tackler. Shakes another one. Has room to run across the 50. First down and more. He'll go out of bounds, but a huge gain for Jahmyr Gibbs. Way to make something out of nothing there. And a very impressive play from the rookie running back. Yeah, trying to develop something down the field, and that pocket collapsed quickly. Luckily, Goff was able to find Gibbs. Man, and he just changes direction, goes from the left sideline to the right, and pretty much outruns everybody on the Raiders defense. That was impressive. 10 carries for 27 yards, 4 receptions for 34 yards. So he's been productive in more ways than one tonight in his coming out party for the Lions. Here's another inside carry to Jahmyr Gibbs. Has room. That might be a horse collar. And it's a late flag, so should be some extra yardage tacked on for the Lions. I think it's Robert Spillane who is in there. So the refs will deliberate, but I think this is a horse collar. So what they're going to determine, fouls against both teams, holding on the offense, number 75. Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 41. Penalties will offset, will replay first down. So it takes away the yardage for Jahmyr Gibbs, which you don't like to see. But the offsetting penalties mean the Lions will get another crack at it on first down. A minute 44 left to go in the first half of this game. Still some positive momentum for the Lions, even after the penalty. Back-to-back big plays before this. Out of the shotgun now, Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back to his left. Goff takes the snap inside, handoff on the delay to Jahmyr Gibbs, who makes up the yardage that they took away on the penalty. He'll pick up about 7 yards. Listen, a good offensive line is going to make a lot of running backs look good, but Jahmyr Gibbs is running with a lot of confidence. Looks like Masterson, the linebacker for the Raiders, is going to be out as he's down on a knee. They'll take a quick injury timeout. Luke Masterson, a 2022 undrafted free agent from Wake Forest, a backup linebacker filling in for Diablo, who is already out for the Raiders. Not a great position for the Raiders to find themselves in, already down and wounded on that defense there. Second and 3 now. Empty backfield for Goff. Drops back, looking to pass, has time. Pump fakes, looks to his left, finds Amon-Ra St. Brown on the check down, which means his prize pick is officially hit after that reception. Ding, 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 ding. That's just another win for the boys. First and 10 now. Clock will continue to run. A minute 10 left to go in this first half. Jared Goff, play action. Inside handoff, actually, to Jahmyr Gibbs, who falls ahead for maybe a yard, and that's all he's going to get. Puppy dog. You need to chill out. She needs to chill out. She's in air jail right now because she can't calm down. Yeah. Yeah, you heard me. Second and 9, 45 seconds out of the shotgun. Goff looks to pass, fires to the right, finds Sam Laporta with room to run. Stiff arms a defensive back in Marcus Peters, and he'll go out of bounds. The clock will stop. It'll be third and short now for Detroit. Critical third down. Still looking for their first touchdown of the afternoon, but still have the lead by 2. 39 seconds left to play in the first half. Jared Goff tonight, 18 for 24, 199 yards through the air. A very productive first half. Empty backfield now. 4 wide receiver set. And the Raiders will burn a timeout, try and ice this third down play. And while they take a timeout, I will be right back. I just need to open up my door and do something real quick. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. 39 seconds left to go on a big-time third down, the most important of this game so far. 3rd and 6 now for Goff and the Lions. From the 26-yard line, just outside the red zone. Takes the snap, empty backfield, has time. Fires over the middle, finds Sam Laporta for the first down. So the Lions will make it across the 20-yard line, and Dan Campbell burns a timeout. The Lions' final timeout of the first half. 29 seconds left to go. Big-time catch for Laporta there. Another rookie on this Lions roster continuing to make plays. First and 10 following the conversion by Laporta. 6 targets, 5 receptions for 26 yards tonight for Laporta. Pretty productive first half for the rookie. Now a man in motion out of the shotgun. Goff takes the snap, fires over the middle. Sam Laporta, touchdown, Detroit Lions. Touchdown for Sam Laporta means a touchdown on our prize picks, which means Sam Laporta has officially won us another category. Ding, 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 ding. I love it. We are on a roll. So that eliminates the Sam Laporta and Josh Reynolds pick. More than 0.5 rush plus receiving touchdowns, so that should be filled up now. And more receiving yards for Sam Laporta on that touchdown puts him at 44 for the day. He needs 6.5 to go over in another category as well. Pretty good night. Still need some defensive plays to be made, but I like our chances tonight. After the PAT, the Lions will increase their lead 16-7 now after the Sam Laporta touchdown. I don't want to speak too soon, so I won't. But we are having fun tonight, aren't we? Football's a lot of fun. Ryan Flanagan checking in says, go Florida State Seminoles, boo Florida Gators. While I don't know if I agree with your sentiments, this is a free speech platform, so you can say whatever you like. Within reason. Let's be realistic here. But Ryan, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Jared Goff on that last drive, 6 for 6, 71 yards, and of course a touchdown. Big time play and a big time moment for Jared Goff. Now 27 seconds left to go. Still some time here for the Raiders if they want to get aggressive. Down 9 points. So it is once again a 2-possession game with 27 seconds left to go. This ball will go up and out of the end zone for a touchback. So what is Jimmy G going to do? Are they going to try and just run this thing out and make their way into the locker room? Or with the few timeouts they have left, are they going to try and make something happen here and get within scoring range? 9-point game. Field goal gets you the win in 6. Amon-Ra St. Brown tonight, 5 receptions for 94 yards. Sam Laporta, 6 for 44. Jared Goff, 20 for 26. Of course, well over 200 yards passing and the touchdown to Sam Laporta we just saw. Out of the shotgun now. It's going to be an inside handoff, not to Josh Jacobs, but to the backup running back. That's Amir Abdullah. Wow, so an interesting stat here in the first half. That doesn't bode well for our Raiders offensive picks here, but Jimmy G has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver on the Raiders. He has completed a pass to a running back and a tight end, but not a wide receiver. And we have basically props for Davante Adams and Jacoby Myers. And if both of those guys don't have 160 yards passing in the second half, then those might be loser picks. But you never know what could happen. 4 full quarters in the NFL. Plenty of football left to be played. But both teams will head to the locker room here at halftime from Ford Field. The Lions on top 16-9. As they hang on to this game, a strong drive from the offense just a couple of minutes ago, and they will go into the locker room with the lead. What's so funny? Last call for phone calls as we enter halftime. This will be the perfect time to chime in. 305-224-1968. The meeting ID 892-8156-1099. New Englanders were certain Jimmy G was our Steve Young. Hey, it's all right, man. He could be your Steve Young in the same way that, like, the Bucs have Steve Young. You know what I mean? Like, Bucs fans can claim Steve Young because we had Steve Young. We drafted him. But it didn't really work out here. So I guess that's the comparison you can have made. But yeah, Jimmy G definitely nowhere near as prolific, I would think, as Steve Young. When you look at the passing tonight for Jimmy G, 3 for 8, 31 yards, and an interception. Wow. Very one-sided game when we compare the quarterback play to Jared Goff, who's 20 for 26, 225 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, I don't know how well Jimmy G is going to be trending after this game. But everyone says he's a winner everywhere he goes. All he does is win. Look at the record. The stats don't matter. Davante Adams in the first half of that game, 0 catches. Jacoby Myers in the first half, 0 catches. Michael Mayer in the first half, 0 catches. I don't know what kind of second half they're going to have, but Jimmy G sucks. There's some highlights from Sunday Night Football. The Bears and the Chargers. That game was depressing. All Chargers all day. I know the Bears, you're kind of treading water with an undrafted D2 QB, but still, I thought they would do something. I can't believe Davante Adams has 0 receptions. I can't believe none of the Raiders wide receivers have a single catch. That's incredible. I do still feel good about Josh Jacobs' running yards. He only needs 12 more yards to be over on that. Walker Kessler so far tonight, 5 points plus rebounds. He needs 10 more for us to win on that. So far, all of our basketball picks are coming in handy. Benedict Mathurin and Tyler Seguin for Dallas in the NHL. 3 shots on goal in that game. And 15 points from our buddy Benedict, which is good enough to win. Josh Jacobs could potentially get us a win there as well. But on that same ticket, we need Walker Kessler to come through, Corbin Carroll, and Davante Adams. That's my big money winner for tonight. So hopefully we see some more progress. Taking a look at some highlights from over the weekend here with Boomer Chris Berman breaking down all the action. Dolphins Pats 31-17, the highlights from that game. Commanders and the Eagles, this was probably game of the weekend, honestly. It seemed like just back and forth. Eagles barely make it out 38-31. Washington loves to play the Eagles tough. They did it a couple of years ago. The Rams, Cowboys, that game was over before it even started. 43-20, your final score in that one. San Fran against the Bengals. Joe Montana's in the house. Jimmy B was balling. Or Joe Burrow, excuse me, Joey B. Sorry, I'm thinking of Jimmy G, Joey B. Here's Geno Smith. Under a minute to go. Game-winning drive for Seattle. Arizona, Baltimore. The Ravens come out on top 31-24 with some big defensive plays, including a late-game interception to seal it. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags visit Pittsburgh in a low-scoring game. Deep shot to Travis Etienne. Man, he looks slow, but he certainly made the play, and they win that one. Vikings and Packers. This game was all Minnesota all day, 24-10, but unfortunately Kirk Cousins out with an Achilles. He is done for the year. Here is the the Oilers, taking on the Falcons, which for the Bucs was a good outcome. Will Levis comes in and throws 4 touchdowns in his NFL debut, 3 of those to DeAndre Hopkins, and they get the win 28-23 over the Atlanta Falcons, which now means the Tampa Bay Buccaneers only back half a game in the NFC South. Although the Saints were able to pick up a win this week to go to 4-4, 38-27 over the Colts. They were back in action, back to form, as they say. And then the New York Bowl, 24 total punts between these two teams. I got to say, one of the most exciting games I've ever watched in my life. And a missed field goal in overtime means the Jets find a way to win it 13-10. Carolina gets their first win of the season over the Houston Texans in a back-and-forth game on the leg of Eddie Pinheiro. They made him re-kick it like 3 times after missing a kick earlier in that game. It couldn't have gotten much easier for him, and he gets the Panthers their first victory of the year. Oh, they're talking about the ghosts and the goblins now on Monday Night Football. I get it. It's Halloween. It's Halloween. Jacoby was a dog for the Pats, but then again, they got Devontae Moore as a running wax model than a player. That Saints win, though, was tough. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. It's really any player, any solid free agent that goes to the Raiders. They just diminish in real time. It's incredible. Like Devontae Adams, the poor guy is fighting for his life, but you can tell that he does not want to be there. Jacoby Myers is a shell of his former self. Chandler Jones lost his effing mind. Richard T says, Rhett, pick MVPs for the Bucs. 1 offense, 1 defense, 1 special teams. I like that. I will say for special teams, it's hard to not say anything but Chase McLaughlin just because of the leg that he has shown. Has multiple makes this year from 55 plus, which is incredible. He is exactly what the Bucs were looking for in a kicker. They got rid of Ryan Suckup because they wanted someone with distance, and McLaughlin has proven that he might be even better from distance than he is up close, which could be a problem, but he's been good so far this year, which you do like to see. On defense, I don't think it can be anyone else other than Antoine Winfield Jr. He has been the best safety in the NFL this year. I don't care about Minkah Fitzpatrick. I don't care about Jesse Bates. Those guys have not been better or more effective in all these phases of the game that Antoine Winfield has been. He's good in coverage, but he's even better at getting after the quarterback. He's even better at forcing turnovers, getting takeaways for your defense. He has been the best player above and beyond everyone else on this Buccaneers defense, and he deserves whatever the hell he gets paid. Hopefully the Bucs decide to pay him. On the offensive side of the ball, it is a little tougher because, things are not as hunky-dory. Still a process, still a learning process. It seems like a cop-out answer to say Tristan Wirfs because he hasn't been perfect. A false start penalty against him last week, has had a couple of penalties, and hasn't been elite at left tackle. He has been the best graded in the NFL. He has been damn good. But these last few weeks, we have seen the cracks start to show, and that's fine. He's a great player. He's going to bounce back. But the pre-snap penalties, some of the sloppiness, getting beat every now and again, maybe just missing an assignment, not all 5 linemen being on the same page. That's not always his fault. But my gut says Tristan Wirfs. But if I have to pick a second or an honorable mention, Mike Evans? Mike Evans or Chris Godwin? Like, I really can't think of anyone else on the offensive side of the ball. You know, like Baker might be some people's picks, but he just hasn't been good enough for me to be MVP. Mike Evans hasn't been perfect, so it's hard to say that he's MVP. Chris Godwin hasn't been perfect, but he's been good. He's been as good as a number 2 on this team can be. So my first offensive MVP is probably Tristan Wirfs. My second is probably Chris Godwin. They got to take him off of primetime. Sounds like you've had to watch too much of them. Richard T says on offense, his pick is Works. Defense, Winfield Jr. Special teams, Camarda. I do like Camarda. He's been good, man. He is one hell of a punter, one hell of a leg. But you hate to see him go out there so often, right? Like, the more you see Camarda, usually the worse the game's going. There's Deontay. Prize picks hitting today, man. Yes, they are. We had a good night picking these games. The NBA picks coming through for us. The NHL picks coming through. If I can get the MLB, then that makes 3 wins on the same ticket for 4 different sports. 4 wins on the same ticket, excuse me. Walker Kessler just needs 2.5 more points plus rebounds, which I think he's going to be able to get, that big center for Utah. And, of course, Josh Jacobs on the rushing yards. I'm worried about Devontae Adams. I don't think he's going to get 80 yards in the second half. I don't. I don't. If you had him at less, then God bless you. But I have him at 75.5, and I don't think he's going to hit that. But I like Josh Jacobs rushing yards. I like Sam Reporter receiving. I like Jahmyr Gibbs from scrimmage. He's still got about 32 yards left to go, but he's been productive. And with the Lions playing in the lead, maybe he can get the ball more in this second half. Alex Anzalone still has 0 tackles? That doesn't seem right. Is that just not updating? Let me see if this is a more accurate box score so I can get a better idea for the defensive stats, because so far I got nothing. Nope, he just literally has 0 tackles, apparently. Oh, hold on, that's the Raiders. All right, Anzalone has 3 tackles tonight. He needs 7 tackles plus assists. So he is at 3. We need 5 in the second half. I don't know how great I feel. Barry Sanders in the house for the Lions tonight. Tons of legends in the house tonight for Detroit. As Lomas Brown goes into the Ring of Honor for Lomas Brown, who, if I'm not mistaken, won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he is in the Lions Ring of Honor, as he is their play-by-play guy now, I think, too. So good for him. Devontae Adams can get 80 yards and 3 catches. That is true, but let's not forget, he's got Jimmy G throwing him the football. I don't know how strongly I feel about Jimmy G in this offense in the second half. They're going to have to really turn things around. Speaking of Jimmy G and the Raiders, they will get the ball to start this second half as we are back underway. 16-7, your score in this game. Jimmy G out of the shotgun with a man in motion. That's Renfro. Running back in the game is Josh Jacobs. Takes the snap. Has time. Pressure coming. Fires to the right side. Finds Devontae Adams. Speak of the devil, his first catch of the game. Picks up a first down, and that is Anzalone on the tackle. So that's 2 plays that we like to see right there. We like to see a reception for Devontae Adams. Hopefully they can feed him the ball. And then, of course, a big tackle from Anzalone, his 4th of the night. So, again, just 4 more of those, and we'll be in business. Now under center with a man in motion. Here is Jimmy G. It's an inside handoff to Josh Jacobs. Stutter step behind the line of scrimmage, and he's not going to go anywhere. Pascal able to get there and wrap him up for a tackle. Barry Sanders is the reason I started watching football, says Richard T. I didn't grow up watching Richard Sanders. That was a little before my time, but I have heard plenty of stories of the absolute terror that he would bring to town whenever he ran against those creamsicle uniforms. He was a man possessed out there. One of the best ever. One of the best running backs ever, in my opinion. Under center now, single back, 2 wide receiver set is Jimmy G on play action. Pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, fires deep. Overthrows Devontae Adams. That one just off target there. Looking to reel that one in and make that play. You don't need the home run. You just need the first down. And they were looking for Devontae Adams on the crossing route. That's just good coverage. Looking for a flag or some sort of DPI there, but not enough for them to call it. So now 3rd and 9. Just a minute and 10 seconds into this second half. The Raiders already facing a big 3rd down. Jimmy G 4 for 10, 42 yards and a pick tonight passing. Out of the shotgun now. Lions going to blitz. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket. He's not going to get away. Okwara, the big defensive tackle for the Lions, is going to get in there and make a play. Big number 99. I'm sorry, the outside linebacker, excuse me. When you're wearing 99 and you're that big, I don't take you as an edge rusher. Huh? Whoa. Looks like my Zoom meeting is over. If you guys can hear me, give me a second. I'm going to jump back in here. Hopefully everything picks up right where I left it. That's embarrassing. All right, we're back. We're back in action. That was weird. All right, so here's a punt from A.J. Cole. It's going to be fielded at the 20. And they'll bring it to about the 30. Looks like we got a Raiders player down. It's number 45. That's a fullback. It's the same fullback who took that illegal lower hit earlier in the game. So unnecessary roughness against number 19. So it looks like Jakob Johnson is going to be down for an extended period of time. They will take a look and stop the game. 13:01 left to go in the 3rd quarter here, as the Lions will look to take over on offense once this game gets going again. That was PI. Yeah, kind of a bang kind of play. If you're talking about the coverage earlier, Devontae Adams, I think, was right in looking for a flag. Jimmy G discovers the position of wide receiver in American football. Color eyes. Yeah, first completion to a wide receiver today for Jimmy G. But unfortunately, he cannot make it 2 in a row. Big surprise. I tell you what, man. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even going to say it. Not even going to say it. I don't even want to speak too soon. Because I didn't win anything over the weekend. I didn't win shit this weekend. If we're being honest in my prize picks, I didn't win anything. So I'm not going to say anything yet. I won't say anything. It's not over till it's over. You know what I mean? We. 16-7. Doesn't feel like there's been a lot of offense in this game, and there certainly hasn't been from the Raiders' point of view. But it's been a pretty efficient game for the Lions offense so far tonight. We'll get to see them get the ball for the first time in this second half. But Jared Goff already over 200 yards passing. Amon-Ra St. Brown approaching 100 yards receiving. Jahmyr Gibbs approaching 100 yards from scrimmage between rushing and receiving yards. He's having one hell of a night. And we'll get another look at him now as Jared Goff and the Lions will come back out from the 30-yard line on 1st and 10. Jared Goff out of the shotgun now. Running back to his left. Takes the snap. It's a delayed inside handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs. Has room. Breaks tackles. Oh, big collision. Spins around. He's still going. What a run by Jahmyr Gibbs on 1st and 10. Holy hell. There were 3 different times on that run where I thought he was done for, and he just kept on going. A running back draw inside the A-gap, breaks a tackle, spins out of another one, just completely outruns another defensive lineman. And then it takes 3 more Raiders to bring him down 20 yards down the field. Here we go. Out of the single back, it's another handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs. Feed him. He's hungry. He goes around the left side, looks to break a tackle, and he only gets about 3-4 yards before being brought down by Robertson, the DB for the Raiders. But the longest run of the night for either team comes from Jahmyr Gibbs. Tonight he has 18 touches, 97 scrimmage yards. Last week was a career high, 20 touches for 126 yards and a touchdown. So they're definitely getting him involved tonight. And I think his night is far from done as he'll check out of the game for the time being. Now Jared Goff in the jumbo set, single back under center. Takes the snap, looks for a quick pass, changes direction, rolls to his right, gets away from pressure, and it's intercepted! This might go the distance. That's Marcus Peters. He jukes Jared Goff. He's going to go. Touchdown, Raiders. That's just a bad read on an out route. Marcus Peters jumps the route and takes it the distance. 74-yard pick six. Oh, man. The Raiders are right back into this game with a defensive touchdown, which means that Jared Goff and the Lions are going to go right back out there and try and not let that happen again. But there is Marcus Peters playing the soft zone coverage from the corner position. He recognizes where Jared Goff is going with the ball and just jumps the route. I mean, he sees the ball coming before Amon-Ra St. Brown even turns around to look for it. What a great heads-up play by Marcus Peters, which results in 6 points. And the PAT is up, and it's good. It looked like it was going to be no good. I got a little excited there, but it'll be 7 points for the Raiders following the Marcus Peters pick six. And now this game is within 2. 16-14 your score with the Lions still hanging on to the lead. 2 turnovers tonight so far. 2 interceptions tonight so far for Jared Goff, who aside from that has had a pretty impressive game. I was just talking about the offensive production and the efficiency so far tonight for the Lions, but I guess I spoke too soon. Hopefully not too many Lions fans in here are pissed at me. Richard T, too bad our Bucs can't run like that. Yeah, no kidding. Talking about the effectiveness of Jahmyr Gibbs so far in this game. He has absolutely taken over as far as the run game goes for the Detroit Lions. Maybe he'll do it a little bit more on this next drive. They're going to take a quick break, which means I will step away. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back here within 2 minutes. Sixteen to 14, your score. Let me update this scoreboard for you. There it is. All right. Now that should be back and correct. Don't forget, guys, phone lines are open if you feel like giving us a call. 305-224-1968. The meeting ID is 892-8156-1099. All you got to do is call the number, and then you will hear the prompt tell you to type in the meeting ID, And then that's when you hopefully remember the meeting ID, or you look at your computer and you're able to type it in. But appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight. Richard T. on the West Coast watching this game. Band Wagoner, our longtime friend from the Brady years. My buddy Deontay, who called in earlier tonight. Mikey Kelly, who also called in earlier tonight. Ryan Flanagan. Frank G. Always appreciate you guys. There's Jack Harlow. Washed up rapper tonight at the Lions-Raiders game. Is he from Detroit? Is that why he's there? So now this kick is up and away following the big-time score from Marcus Peters. The Lions will get the touchback here and take over at their own 25-yard line. Jared Goff and the offense comes back out, looking to right their wrongs. In the Rams, Jared Goff threw an interception every 44 attempts, but with the Lions over these first 3 seasons, he has the lowest interception rate during the time span, only throws an interception every 70 pass attempts. So again, talking about the effectiveness and just the overall improvement of Jared Goff as a quarterback since he has gotten to Detroit is definitely something admirable. They're going to go play action on 1st and 10, single back. It's a quick shot to Sam Laporta with a big catch. Lowers the shoulder, makes a collision with the DB, and he'll pick up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. Luke Masterson for the Raiders, who went down on that punt a little bit earlier, will not return into this game. Just got the update from the locker room, so they'll be without a depth piece on that Raiders defense, which is already thin at the linebacker spot. 2nd and 5 now out of the shotgun. Raiders showing blitz. It's going to be an inside handoff. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs yet again as he picks up a 1st down. That's Reynolds, not Gibbs. That's the other running back in the rotation that Detroit has. Here's the snap once again. Goff, empty backfield, steps up in the pocket, has pressure coming, but he's able to get rid of it. Looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Can't quite hit him there. He tried to force it. There wasn't a play to be made, but had to get rid of the football. 2nd and 10 now. That interior pressure has really been the one thing that's constant on these passing downs for the Raiders. They've done a good job of slowing down Max Crosby. And I say slowing down because you're not going to stop him. He's already got 5 tackles, but none of them have been on the QB so far. Out of the shotgun on 2nd down, it's an inside handoff to Reynolds, who picks up about 3 yards. Yeah, he's no Jahmyr Gibbs, that's for sure. And they find out there when they hand him the football. Now looking at 3rd and 5. Reynolds will come back out of the game. We'll see if Gibbs decides to check back in. But a big-time 3rd down, a lot of pressure for this Lions offense, who have yet to do anything here in the second half. They're going to show blitz. They will bring the house. Pressure coming. Goff gets rid of it, finds Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle. Big 1st down conversion from Goff to St. Brown, one of his favorite targets. And with that catch, Amon-Ra St. Brown now over his receiving yards for our prize picks tonight. Ding, 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 ding. Love to see it. It's going to be another handoff here for the Lions on 1st and 10. I believe Jahmyr Gibbs back in the game. We need 2 more yards from Sam Laporta and 3 more yards from Jahmyr Gibbs, 6 more yards from Josh Jacobs. And then we can pretty much count that one ticket I have as a win. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2,738 career receiving yards. Most receiving yards in Lions history through the first 40 games. They're going to try an outside handoff here to Jahmyr Gibbs, and that goes nowhere. The Raiders were all over it. Amon-Ra St. Brown tonight, 6 receptions, 108 yards. Big time third down now for the Lions so far. 5 for 9 on third downs tonight. Able to convert the last one on this drive. Let's see if they can do it here. Out of the shotgun is Goff. The Raiders showing blitz. Here's the snap. Raiders bring the pressure. It's an inside handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm sorry, that was Reynolds, not Gibbs, the running back who comes in, but I think they caught the Raiders sleeping and picked up the first down. That's going to be a play call that gets criticized if it doesn't work, but an inside handoff is not what a lot of teams saw right there. It's definitely not what I saw coming right there. That's a good play by Reynolds to fight ahead and pick up the necessary yardage. They're going to rule it, and we'll see how close they decide to rule it, if they gave him a favorable spot or not. But I would like to think that if they're ruling this to where he's down when his hand hits the ground, I think he got the necessary yardage. Here comes the chain crew. The moment of truth, all this technology, but we still use the chain crew, and it looks like he got it by just the nose length of the football. As close as a margin as you can get the first down. It looks like Reynolds and the Lions will make it happen there. A big-time third down conversion as they are now in the red zone, knocking on the door. Craig Reynolds tonight, 5 carries for 34 yards, averaging 6.8 yards a tote. Pretty good numbers for a rotational running back for sure. He'll remain in the game. Here's Sam Laporta, the man in motion now. Goff out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action. Has time, fires to the right, checks down to Reynolds in the flat, makes the catch, shakes a couple of defenders, fights ahead for first down yardage and then some. And now Reynolds is feeling on fire at the running back position. Looks like Reynolds will check himself back out of this game. Hopefully Jahmyr Gibbs comes in and gets that 3 yards that we need him to get. That was Marcus Peters playing zone coverage there. And they just took advantage of the empty space. Here is single back. It's going to be a handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs, who's got the edge. The first down and then some. He'll be pushed out of bounds within the 5-yard line. So not only does the prize picks hit, ding, 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 but the Lions are knocking on the door of the Raiders end zone here. First and goal following the big-time carry from Jahmyr Gibbs. How about the productivity for the Lions tonight? Back-to-back plays, back-to-back prize picks hit. Ding, 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 ding. You love to see it. First and goal now. 6.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. The Lions trying to extend their lead. The jumbo set. Goff under center. Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back. Here's the snap. It goes to Reynolds, not Gibbs, who's going to try and shake to the right. But Robert Spillane meets him in the backfield and wraps him up behind the line of scrimmage. It could be a loss of 1, if that, on second and goal. And so far today, the Lions are 1 for 3 in red zone touchdown drives. Had to settle for a couple of field goals early on in this one before they found Sam Laporta in the end zone. We'll see what they can do here on second and goal. Offset I formation. Laporta now the man in motion. Jumbo set to the left. It's going to be a handoff to Reynolds, who fights into the pile. And Spillane going to be the one who brings him down. They're trying to fight and say that the ball came out. Max Crosby has the football in his hand. He says the ball came out, and so does the rest of that Raiders defense, but I think they're going to let this one play out. Oh, wow. All right, so late fumble. Late fumble recovered by the Raiders defense. So another red zone trip comes up empty for the Lions so far tonight. And that's just a mob of players. I don't even know. Whoa! So that ball literally shot up out of the pile. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it literally just right out of the top of the pile. And Max Crosby standing right there. He's able to get a hold of it. They're going to look at this one for quite a long time, I think. There is a lot of moving parts in this play. Got to eat with the wife and kid. Have a good night, everyone. Fun hanging out. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you, buddy. Enjoy your evening. Have a good dinner with your family. Could have had Marcus Peters for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, you're not wrong, but I'm going to be honest with you. When I look at the Bucs and I still look at some of the holes in this team, I don't know if corner or even safety is something that I look at. I mean, Ryan Neal, obviously, everyone's going to point at, but you still got D. Delaney on the roster. And through the first 5 weeks of the season, he was the highest graded defensive back in the NFL as far as targets go. So I don't think D. Delaney could be much worse than Ryan Neal, but you're right. Just another big name that a lot of people are going to be upset about that the Bucs missed out on. So I get it. So they're still taking a look at the ruling on the field. Was a fumble recovered by the Raiders, but it looks like they're trying their best to overturn this thing. All types of body language from both of these teams. Here's the call. The ruling on the field will stand as called, so it is a fumble recovered by the Raiders. Max Crosby with the big fumble recovery when they need it the most. I guess they got the definitive angle they needed. I still don't even know what I'm looking at here. Not enough evidence to overturn the ruling on the field, so it will be a big-time fumble. I think that was Reynolds, by the way. Oh, we got a false start. Inside the 5-yard line. Looks like we have a false start against Josh Jacobs on the Raiders, which is going to hurt him. I mean, if you didn't think they were back far enough, now they're back even further, pretty much from their own 1-yard line. This crowd getting very amped up. Detroit Lions going to bring the pressure on the line of scrimmage, but here's Josh Jacobs as he fights his way forward for about 6 yards. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is another prize pick that is hit for us tonight. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, no. 1.5 yards short. So I spoke too soon. Josh Jacobs at 56 yards now. We need him to get 1.5 yards. Maybe he can do it on this drive and send me home happy. We're so close on so many of these. Out of the shotgun now. A different look on 2nd and 5. Jimmy G takes the snap. Play action. Finds Hunter Renfrow. Cam Sutton going to wrap him up and drop him at the line of scrimmage. So a quick completion to Hunter Renfrow. The first time we've seen him tonight for the Raiders offense, but nothing doing whatsoever. Sutton was in coverage on Davante Adams, but just saw the slot receiver come in for the catch and completely abandon his coverage to make a play on the football, and he comes up with his biggest play of the night. Hunter Renfrow, 14 snaps, 1 catch for 2 yards. 3rd and 4 out of the shotgun. Jimmy G looking to pass. Blitz coming. Fires over the middle. No! Finds Davante Adams, and he cannot hang on. Five targets, 1 reception, 11 yards for Davante Adams tonight. I mean, that's just a quick slant route, high percentage look, hits Davante Adams right in the hands. It was behind him a little bit, so maybe a throw that Jimmy G is going to want back, but if you're Davante Adams, that's a catch that you make 10 times out of 10 right there. So we got a punt deep out of their own end zone here. The Raiders' drive will come to an end. Quick 3 and out. And it's going to be fielded right around the 40, brought down around the 48-yard line. So the Lions, with pretty solid field position, look to get this thing rolling again. Man, that is an absolutely disgusting look for the Raiders offense. Just a disgusting act from Devontae Adams. I can't believe he dropped that. You could hear it in my voice. I was bummed out for him. Just a quick commercial break now between these two teams. The Lions getting ready to take back over. Solid field position as well. Late enough in the game to where if you score 7 points here and you go up by 9 yet again and you hang on to the ball well into the fourth quarter, I just don't think the Raiders have enough juice on offense to get themselves back into this game. They just don't. I mean, they're running the ball well. That's the thing, too. You're running the ball well enough to try and facilitate anything at all on offense, but between Jimmy G just being completely ass and nobody else able to make a catch when it's needed, you know, it's going to demoralize a team, and I think the Raiders have hit that point. It's tough to see. Tough look out there. Excuse me. Adam Schefter on now talking about the trade deadline for both of these teams. Doesn't expect much action. Jumbo set now 2 tight ends as it's an inside handoff to guess who? Jahmyr Gibbs, who picks up another hard-fought 6 yards for the Lions on first down. So with as well as their running game has been playing, I think for the Lions, this is the tipping point of the game, where if you can start to lean on this run game a little bit more than you do. I know that you're not up quite as much as you would like to be, especially with all those trips to the red zone. But this is where you control the clock, and a score on this drive could potentially take the Raiders out of this thing. On single back yet again, it's going to be a play-action rollout to the left. Goff has time, fires deep downfield, and it's going to be incomplete, but we got flags all over the place. So could be offensive pass interference because it looks like the Raiders are pretty stoked about this. Oh, defense pass interference. So forget that. We also have a player down. That's big, number 74, one of the offensive linemen for the Lions. Adam Schefter giving an update on the Vikings, by the way, and their thoughts on the trade deadline. Says he wouldn't expect them to be selling off many pieces because they are 4-4 and they did just lose their QB, but they're not ready to write this season off just yet. Now, I did see some rumblings today, and I say rumblings loosely because I feel like this is just a reporter who has been wrong in the past making another report that could potentially be wrong. So take this with a grain of salt. But there was a report on Twitter that said the Vikings have reached out to New Orleans to try and facilitate some kind of trade for Jameis Winston and how Jameis would be eager for the opportunity. And while I do think that is partially true, I'm not 100% sure how true it is. Just because, again, this is a guy who his sources have been questionable in the past. So as a lot of people are going to be hurrying to get news out before the trade deadline, just make sure you pay extra close attention to some of these guys and who their sources are. And honestly, you know, nowadays with Twitter being what it is with all of the new updates this last year or so, make sure it's not a parody account. Because I am ashamed to admit that I have been fooled once, just once. But it was one time I have been fooled by a parody account this year. There was a quote about Baker Mayfield saying that Dave Canales and Todd Bowles play him to the best of his ability and understand him as a playmaker, and that Sean McVay was the only other coach to do that before. And that was a completely fake quote. It was some dude with a Twitter account. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs, breaks around the right side, touchdown. Ding, 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 prize picks. And he jumps into the stands, celebrating with the Detroit faithful as rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, who has had one hell of a game tonight, a 27-yard rushing touchdown for number 26. I got to tell you, as good as he has been, he'll probably get fined for that. As good as he has been, they got to get him out of that number. Got to get him out of 26. That's an awful running back number. Man, he goes right into the A gap, recognizes the lanes, and just bounces over to the right side. You know, he goes in to the pile at the line of scrimmage, and you don't expect him to come back out. But he does for a big 27-yard touchdown. 23-14 now your score as the Lions make up for prior mistakes, and they get a touchdown now to extend their lead. Career high game for Jahmyr Gibbs tonight. 23 touches, 149 yards from scrimmage, and a touchdown. Jameis with Jefferson, though, literally 25 for 30, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That would be a high-flying offense for sure. I think if there's a QB who can make a lot of the throws that Kirk has been making this year, it is Jameis Winston. Unfortunately, he's going to make some extra throws, if you know what I mean. Big time play from Jahmyr Gibbs, man. You love to see him celebrate with the fans, too. That looks like a fun time. Not quite the Lambeau leap. What do we call it? The Ford leap? The Ford Field leap? The Lions leap. I like that one. That one rolls off of the tongue. The Lions leap. Jahmyr Gibbs tonight has more total yards than the Raiders have entirely in offense. So it has been tough sledding for the Raiders, but they're only down 9 points. Still a 2-possession game, but it's close enough to where with a little bit of time left in the third quarter, I mean, that's plenty of time for a competent offense. Have the Raiders been a competent offense tonight? No, considering one of those scores came from a pick six. But hopefully they can get some of their playmakers involved. Only one catch tonight on 5 targets for Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs has been okay, but I can't imagine they're going to lean too much more on the run game now when you're trailing 2 possessions. But here we go. Jimmy G. Jumbo formation, 1 wide receiver out there. Josh Jacobs is the single back, so it's going to be play action. Looking downfield, has time. Garoppolo fires over the middle and finds his tight end. That's Michael Mayer, his second catch of the night. Big time play, one-on-one in man coverage, and he's just got to outbody his opponent there and basically put himself in a good enough position to make that catch, and he does just that in a tight window. Good throw and a good catch. Hopefully some juice for this Raiders offense. Under center, the offset I formation, it's going to be an inside handoff to Josh Jacobs, who changes direction, has the edge, and he'll be brought down right around midfield. It's a pickup of 5 yards. Looked like he had some more room, but just didn't quite have the speed to get around the edge there. And there's Marcus Peters. After that 75-yard pick six, Marcus Peters now going back to the locker room for Vegas. His night may be over. Single back formation. Jimmy G under center with 2 wide receivers to his left. Takes the snap, play action again, looking downfield, fires to the right. He's looking for Mayer again and maybe a pass interference, but they won't throw the flag. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 as that pass falls incomplete. Wish it were happening. Jameis fell off. Was fun to watch. I would like to see Jameis get a chance to be a full-time starter in the NFL again. He's not my favorite player. I liked him as a Buck, obviously. I supported him, but I do think he's good enough to deserve a chance. I think he's good enough to start for one of these teams. Jimmy G out of the shotgun now on 3rd and 5 with a man in motion. That's Jacoby Myers. Takes the snap. Has time. Pressure coming. He's going to go down. Aleem McNeil, big number 54 along that interior defensive line for the Lions, is all over Jimmy G. They tried to set up something downfield for him and just didn't have enough time to find what he was looking for before the interior pressure was way too much. It's a 5-man rush by Detroit, so obviously bringing the pressure. And it's a pass rush that's been able to do just enough tonight to get the job done. It'll be 4th and 13. Knocks the Raiders out of field goal position, which means A.J. Cole's now on to punt. His kick is up and away. Back deep to receive is Detroit. They signal for the fair catch and fall on it. So Jared Goff and the offense, as they lead with 9, will take over at the 10-yard line, deep in their own territory. 1:07 left to go in the third quarter of play. Still time. Still time for the Raiders offense and even the Raiders defense if they want to help the offense get back into this game. Because Detroit far from mistake-free tonight, but any points at all on this drive definitely goes a long way. And talking about what we had covered before on the previous scoring drive for Detroit, this is where ball control goes a long way. You don't even have to score again, really, if you can hang on to the ball for 7 minutes, 8 minutes. But we'll see what they do. Got a long way to go. 1st and 10 now. Jared Goff under center. It's a single back look. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, now with a man in motion. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goff takes the snap. Play action. Just kidding. It's Jahmyr Gibbs who gets the inside handoff and stutter steps before finding all the room he needs to pick up 11 more yards. He makes it look easy out there. 1st down, Lions. So the clock will continue to run. 44 seconds now left in the third quarter of play. This could be the second to last play in the third quarter, if not the final play in the third quarter. The 61st play for the Lions, who have 28 minutes of time of possession so far. Just a great job controlling the ball. And with carries like that from Jahmyr Gibbs, it's no wonder why he fights through the entire line of scrimmage and gets about 8 yards. I mean, he is just draped in players from both teams. And these aren't just, specialist players. These are offensive and defensive linemen over 300 pounds, and he's just carrying them like it's nothing. 2nd and 3. They're going to run one more play before the end of the third quarter. No, they do not. Try and get the Raiders sleeping and catch them off sides, but it will not happen. Marcus Peters coming back now from the locker room. Curious to see if he'll be back in the game at all at some point. There she is. Always barking. Always barking. Bandwagoner, thanks for hanging out. Deontay checking in on the live chat as well. Richard T. All the usual suspects tonight. We get ready for the final quarter of Monday Night Football. Hopefully the Raiders can make their way back into this game down 2 scores. Looking to get active. I'm going to get another drink. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We will return. All right, we're back. We are back. Lions have the ball. Sorry about that. I had to get another drink. Was just going over my prize picks with my buddy. And still some things we need to happen tonight. I know it's the fourth quarter, so never say never, but we need an Aiden Hutchinson sack. We need Josh Jacobs to get a half a yard rushing. And I don't think Devontae Adams is going to get 65 yards through the air receiving, but you never know what could happen. Here's Jared Goff under center now. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the man in motion, but it's an inside handoff to Reynolds on 2nd and 5, who gets maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd and short. And again, the Lions just trying to put this game away. Jerry Tillery, defensive lineman for the Raiders, is going to be down right now, favoring his ankle. So that'll stop the game on 3rd and 3 with the Lions in a tough spot. Let's check the stats real quick. More specifically, the defensive stats for the Lions. I want to see what our boy Anzalone has as far as tackles. He's got 4. We need 4 more from him. I don't know if that's going to happen unless he has a really productive final drive here, which is a shame because we were on a hot start tonight. If you guys are watching and you haven't yet, make sure you leave a thumbs up for more great, whether Tampa Bay Buccaneers content or NFL content. We do it all. I mean, whenever I'm in the mood for it. Mostly Tampa Bay Buccaneers content. Don't get me wrong. This is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast, but every now and again, we do like to open some things up with some more general football content, just like this stream. You know, I wanted to watch Monday Night Football. Didn't want to watch it by myself. So I've got my friends here on the channel. Guys like Richard T, guys like Deontay, guys like Bandwagoner, guys like Mikey Kelly, guys like Ryan Flanagan, guys like Brad, guys like Frank G. Been missing some of our moderators lately. I haven't seen G Vegas. I haven't seen Willie Beeman. Some of our regular faces that we have. Buck Wild, I think, was another one. Miss those guys. Haven't seen them in a couple weeks. Hope they're doing okay. The holiday season's approach, so they are, of course, already rolling Christmas commercials, which really sucks. But are you guys ready for the holiday season? This is my favorite time of year. I mean, the year's winding down, the weather gets better, but everything is in full swing. You got the World Series, NASCAR's going on, the NBA just getting started, the NFL in full swing, college football getting better week in and week out. It's a good time of year to be a sports fan, for sure. Good time of year to bet. Big 3rd down now for the Lions, looking to put this game away as they still control the football. 12 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Out of the shotgun, Goff takes the snap. Blitz coming. It's an inside handoff, and it looks like the Raiders might have gotten the stop they needed there. If they don't give them a generous spot in a 1st down, it's going to be 4th and maybe a couple of feet. Which also begs the question, how aggressive do you want to get if you're Dan Campbell? Here in the 4th quarter, up 2 possessions, do you go ahead and go for it with a run game tonight that's been as sure of a thing as it gets? I do like the data to go for it on 4th down. It looks like the offense is going to stay on the field too. Oh, they're bringing out the chains, and he will be half a length of the football short. So 4th and 1. Thanks for doing the show tonight. It's been fun to tune in as always. Any chance you do more of these, and maybe for Bucs games? For Bucs games, the jury is out. just because our buddy James normally does it, and to be honest with you, like James is a good enough friend to where I don't really want to bite on his thing, you know, like I don't want to do the Bucs game day stream while he's doing it, because if we're just being transparent, like James has been doing that for years, but these last couple of seasons, there's been a lot of other Bucs content creators who now do a Bucs game day live stream, which is totally cool. The more the merrier, but we have the podcast, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's something we'll do all the time, but maybe eventually, maybe for the playoffs. We'll have to see if they make the playoffs. But I do like doing these hangout streams, you know, maybe for Sunday night football, Thursday night football, Monday night football. We'll have to see. Out of the I formation with a tight end in motion, Jared Goff on 4th and 1. The QB sneak gets the necessary yardage. But it's going to be an offsides call against the Raiders. So it doesn't seem like it'll matter. It's Max Crosby who lined up offsides for Vegas, and Penei Sewell getting up, seemingly shaken up after the QB sneak, but it is successful. So the Lions hang on to the football, and they will run this clock down a little bit more. Favorite basketball team? I'm pretty casual when it comes to basketball. Like, I've always kind of liked, as far as Florida, I've always liked the Heat more than the Magic. But it was hard to not root for the Heat, like back in 2011, 2012, you know, the LeBron era. So I would say a Heat fan, but I'm pretty casual. I'd say basketball is probably the sport that I follow the least. Like, I follow the headlines, I follow players. But I'm definitely not watching a lot of basketball on TV. Respect that. I'll give him the sub then. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, James does a good job. He's been doing this Bucs thing for a long time. Jared Goff under center. They're going to hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs out of the single back on 1st and 10, just trying to waste this game away here in the 4th quarter and keep the ball away from Vegas, even though their offense hasn't been capable of much of anything tonight. 10.5 minutes left to go, and it'll probably be close to 10 minutes before the Lions even run their next play, which will be here on 3rd and 8. Out of the shotgun now, Jahmyr Gibbs still in the game. 4 wide receivers for the Lions. Goff takes the snap, looking to pass. Pressure coming. Fires. Oh, man. Khalif Raymond was the intended receiver. Goff threw it to him a little bit late. He was wide open on a drag route, had plenty of room in front of him to go, and just not able to put it where he wants it. So that'll bring an end to that drive and bring up 4th and 8. And out comes the punt unit for Detroit, who we haven't seen very much tonight. Oh, just kidding. They're going to try and tack on with Riley Patterson here, who is 2 for 5, 50-plus from his career. This is a 52 attempt from the left hash. Kick is up. Has the leg, maybe, and it's good. Man, that one, like, flopped in there. It didn't look like it was quite going to make it. But even a wobbly kick that's good is still a good kick. So from 52 yards, the Lions will extend their lead now 29-14 after that field goal. Or 26-14, excuse me, not 29-14. That's what I get for making assumptions. Big time kick. Gotta respect the Heat, gotta hate them too. You're a Celtics fan. Hockey and football on my face, but this is 100% peak sports season. Yeah, right around pre-Thanksgiving, like that last week of October to the first week of December is my favorite part of football season, just because the playoff races are shaping up. You know, the regular season for college is winding down, so the rankings get more important every week. It's just a fun time. Fun time. Obviously, the World Series, the start of hockey season. So I assume that you are, I mean, I'm just making assumptions here based off of your profile picture and your name, Bandwagoner. Are you a Boston hockey fan? You a Bruins fan? Because that's unfortunate. My buddy just got back from the Lightning game tonight. I guess they lost an OT, which is also unfortunate. So the Raiders, coming up here after this break, will have what very well may be their last real chance to get any sort of traction in this game. Time winding down with around 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. I have to assume if you can find a way to be effective and put up points here, 12-point game, you need a touchdown. You can't settle for 3 points because realistically, the way Detroit has been playing tonight, if this drive goes longer than 5 minutes, you're not getting the ball back. Oh, they're highlighting Mom Spaghetti, which is the Eminem-themed spaghetti shop. I guess it's a restaurant that opened up not far from Ford Field, where they are in Detroit tonight. Bruins and Sox when I follow baseball. Yeah, I'm typically a Tampa sports guy. I don't have a lot of reason to root for other teams. Oh my God, that was disastrous. What is happening? It's a squib kick. They got way too out of hand. So the Lions kicked it, and the Raiders went to recover, and then the guy changed his mind. And then he changed his mind again and picks the ball up at the 1 yard line and literally gets tackled at the 1. Oh. I mean, this is Raiders football right here at its finest. So we do have an injured Lion in the end zone. That is Dorsey, number 30. These teams looking to make this drive happen as soon as they can figure out what's going on with Dorsey, a 2020 undrafted free agent from Northern Arizona, favoring that left leg. The trainer's out there working on him. And they'll get him back up to his feet. Nice loud round of applause from the stadium as he makes his way back over to the sideline with the help of some of the trainers. Head coach Dan Campbell out there talking to his guy, which you like to see. Dan Campbell's that kind of coach. So now 1st and 10 from the 1 yard line. Yeah, you heard me correctly. The 1 yard line. 99 yards left to go for Jimmy G and the Raiders back out of their own end zone. Standing in the shadow of their own goalpost. Jimmy G out of the shotgun now. 3 wide receiver set with a tight end in there as well. Hunter Renfrow now the man in motion. Garoppolo. Detroit showing pressure. They're going to blitz on the goal line. Pressure coming. Fires down towards Devontae Adams, but just cannot hit him. Not even close. Devontae Adams was honestly wide open, but Jimmy G just not on target, leads him out of bounds. That'll fall incomplete now. 2nd and 10. A lot of pressure there. Yeah, Jimmy G got to stand in the pocket and take that hit. Detroit bringing the blitz. And they're showing pressure yet again here on 2nd and 10 now. Out of the shotgun again. Jimmy G takes a snap. Had to get rid of it pretty much instantly. There was a linebacker who made it through and able to lay a hit. That was Jack Campbell who hits Jimmy G. But it's going to be rough in the passer as Jimmy G gets up and he's limping around. So a late flag bails out the Raiders from a long and tedious 3rd down, but how good a shape is Jimmy G in now as he makes his way down the field? He was just untouched. It was just a middle linebacker blitz. Nobody came And Jack Campbell, who got a little tripped up, had to make the shoelace tackle, but the helmet goes right into the knee of Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo limping, but he is still out there on 1st and 10, out of the shotgun now. With a man in motion, takes the snap, drops back, pressure coming, has time, steps up in the pocket, rolls to the right. He's going to run, fires over the middle. That pass is caught. That's Jacoby Myers, big number 16. His first catch. Big reception there for 18 yards, and that's a big-time play for the Raiders, something that they have needed after the improvisation from Jimmy G. Great job getting away from the sack there as well. Already playing hurt. Favoring that right knee. And that's Thayer Munford now, one of the offensive linemen. Big number 77 for the Raiders. As the clock will stop at 9 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on 1st and 10. The Raiders trail by 12, 26-14 now, with a chance to try and get back into this game, or at least make it closer down the stretch. You can't take 3 points because only 3 points, it's still a 2-possession game, so you have to find a way to get in the end zone here. Bandwagoner says, Lightning are a good team. I tried to watch some of them, but just too much hockey. Too much hockey? Jermaine Illuminor now comes in to replace the injured offensive lineman. Jimmy G still back in this game, ready to go. 9:08 left to go. Waiting on the refs to set the ball. Every other player seems ready, and they're having a discussion. What are we doing? The Ford Field crowd starting to boo. Oh, they're going to readjust the game clock to 9 minutes and 20 seconds. I thought something was off when I saw it say 9:08. But it seemed like a pretty long time to stop the game, just to say to fix the game clock. But now we're set and ready to roll. From the 36-yard line, the Raiders still trying to make their way out of their own territory as they look to cross midfield. On 1st and 10, Jimmy G out of the shotgun with Renfro in motion. 4 wide receivers. Pressure coming. That's Alex Anzalone from the linebacker spot. His 2nd sack of the year and his 5th tackle of the day, if I'm not mistaken. .8:35 left to go as this clock will continue to roll. 2nd and 17 out of the shotgun now. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Jimmy G, pressure coming. He's not going to get away yet again. He'll go down. Aline McNeil, big 54, gets his 2nd sack of the night. He's been all over the place. Seems like everybody on that Lions defensive line is getting a sack except for Aiden Hutchinson. They brought in the tight end to chip him and try and slow him down. Otherwise, he probably would have made it home on that play. But if we're still counting on prize picks, I do need a big defensive play from Aiden Hutchinson here. I don't know if we'll be able to have our cake and eat it too. I don't think it works that way. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 28. Got to have it play. It's a screen pass to Hunter Renfro. Has blockers. Has some room over the middle of the field. Fights his way forward to the 36-yard line. He is well short of the line to gain, which means it's going to be 4-down territory, even though it's not what you like to see. 4th and 10 now for the Raiders. Game on the line with 7:24 left to go, trailing by 12. Turnover here pretty much guarantees a Lions victory. So far as nothing catastrophic happens, so consider this the game. With over 7 minutes left to go, Jimmy G 8 for 17 tonight, 99 yards and an interception. His biggest throw of the night here. Lions going to bring the blitz. Pressure coming from the blind side. Not going to get away. Alex Anzalone puts an exclamation point on that for his second sack of the drive. .6:55 left to go in the game. And after 3 straight sacks, the Lions will take over with favorable field position. Tough night to be Jimmy G. Single back look. Jahmyr Gibbs in the game. Reynolds, the running back in for Detroit, and he's going to get a first down carry for 10 yards. That's 11, and it'll move the chains. Alex Anzalone, 6 tackles tonight, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. He's really coming to his own these last couple of weeks. Been far and away one of the best defensive players for the Lions. They've got the blonde wigs out there in the crowd showing support. First and 10, single back look with 2 wide receivers. They're going to give it to Reynolds again, trying to run this thing away, and he will set the edge, get the stiff arm, and get the first down as they are inside the 5-yard line. Just close enough to scoring position to officially put this thing away as the clock will continue to run. Have to think they don't get too aggressive here in the red zone. They just try and hang on to the ball. The time of possession tonight, 35 minutes for the Lions. Only 18:57 for the Raiders. And unless the Lions score here, can't imagine the Raiders are going to get too many more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. Here is Reynolds into the end zone. Detroit touchdown, but there is a flag. We'll see if this comes back. Oh, take that touchdown off of the board. It'll be holding on the offensive lineman number 70. That's Dan Skipper. Oh, Dan. So it's the offensive tackle, but he's lined up at offensive guard, so I think he's filling in for an injured offensive lineman that they have in Detroit, whose name I cannot remember. But when you play out of position, sometimes things like that tend to happen, which means it'll be first and goal all over again, but now from much farther away. Over 200 rushing yards for the Lions tonight. And a lot of those came from Jahmyr Gibbs, who's now back in the game. Single back look with 3 wide receivers now in the man of motion. Here's the handoff to Gibbs. He goes up the gut, gets maybe a yard or 2. So I think the Raiders burned a timeout here, which is why the clock isn't moving. Second and goal now following the short gain. 212 rushing yards, 5.7 yards per rush tonight for the Lions. And not only can you thank Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of that running back room, but you can thank the big fellas up front. That offensive line has done a great job tonight at not only handling this Raiders pass rush, but opening up run lanes for a rookie running back to have his best game so far. Under center now, single back is Gibbs. It's going to be a handoff yet again inside the 10. He'll fight his way forward, but not before being wrapped up at the 8-yard line. And we might have some hands thrown after the play, some extracurricular activity, if you will. But that's what happens. Another timeout taken by the Raiders, which means on 3rd and goal, 5:07 left in this game, almost guarantees that the Raiders will at least get another possession on the offensive side of the ball, but we'll see if they can do much of anything with it. Jimmy G obviously playing through a lot of pain and taking some hits out there. 3 straight sacks on their last drive with a chance to get back into this game. Running out of time here. There's the pick 6 earlier from Marcus Peters. A throw that Jared Goff is going to wish that he'd have back, but even when you look at the box score, you wouldn't think a play like that even happened. Here's Jared Goff on a play-action rollout, had Sam Laporta, and he drops it. He drops it, and I needed 0.5 passing yards from Jared Goff tonight. I need 0.5 more. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, I think that's the last time they were going to throw it, too. I don't think they're going to get the ball back. Oh, no. That really sucks. That's all right. I mean, this ticket right here, the one that I'm looking at anyways, wasn't good. Oh, no, from 26. It's no good. Man, there was a lot going on right there in that last few minutes. So Riley Patterson, who has been more than good tonight with a 50-plus yarder under his belt, is wide right from 26 yards away. With a chance to officially put this thing out of reach, it remains a 2-possession game for now, and the Raiders will have a chance to get the ball back. I mean, that's the game. You know, I know this game is pretty much over, but it's still a 12-point game. If the Raiders can pull something out of their hat here, we've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. So here is Jimmy G back out now. 5 minutes left to go from the 20-yard line. The Raiders take over. Josh Jacobs in the game. Here is Garoppolo with a man in motion. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Pressure in the pocket, but he finds Josh Jacobs. No, and he completes the pass to Jacobs, who fumbles it. But luckily, Jacoby Myers picks it up for an extra 5 yards for the Raiders. They get the first down. Oh, my goodness. This has been quite the spectacle so far. Here he is, Jimmy G out of the shotgun, pressure coming, has time, dumps it off to Jacobs, who just drops it. Couldn't hang on to that one. It'll stop the clock at 4:29, 2nd and 10 now. After that hectic first down conversion. That was insane. Davante Adams tonight, 6 targets, 1 catch for 11 yards. Weeks 4 through 7, he was averaging 8.8 and over 50 yards a game. That obviously hasn't happened tonight, but here's Jimmy G on 2nd and 10 now. 3 wide receiver set with a tight end and a running back. Could be a false start. We'll see. Deep pass, looking for Davante Adams, and he overthrew him. That's as wide open as he's been all year, and he just could not hit him. Clean pocket. Wow. That would have been a 40-plus yard game right there for Davante Adams. Potentially a touchdown. I mean, he was basically uncovered. That little stutter step completely fools the corner. There's nobody over the top. That would have been the touchdown that they so desperately needed. But instead, they'll try and go for it on 3rd and 10. 1 catch on 7 targets tonight for Adams. Garoppolo out of the shotgun. Pressure coming. They bring the blitz. He's trying to get away, and he will not. He goes down. First sack of the year for Walker from the safety position. 6 sacks tonight for the Lions. Seems like everybody but Hayden Hutchinson gets one tonight. Oh, man. And good coverage downfield by the Lions. There's really no option there for Jimmy G. by the time he tries to improvise in the pocket, it's just too late. So now on 4th and 17, with 3.5 minutes to go, this is legitimately it. This has got to be it. Desperation time for the Raiders. Here's Jimmy G out of the pocket, rolls left. He checks it down, finds his man. That's Abdullah, but he is tackled well short of the marker. That's Anzalone to put an end to that drive. 3:29 left to go for the Lions. And you got to think, I don't want to assume, but you got to think with as well as they have run the ball tonight, this will be the final drive of the game. Devontae Adams is furious on the sideline, throwing his helmet, yelling at teammates. He's ready to be traded tomorrow. I think it'll happen too. I think you fall to 3-5. Tomorrow being the trade deadline. There's going to be some moves tomorrow. 475 total yards of offense here for the Lions. We'll see if they tack it on. Here's Jared Goff. Another handoff to Reynolds to the left side. He'll pick up maybe 2. Raiders will burn their last timeout. Sorry, it's getting late. Words are hard. Had a couple drinks. So, with their win tonight, the Detroit Lions will go to 6-2, which rivals some of the best records in the NFC, up there with the likes of Philly and San Francisco. Even with the slump that San Francisco has been in lately, they are still one of the better teams. But I believe Detroit will pass them with their 6th win on the season after tonight. Power run formation, Goff out of the single back. It's going to be a handoff to Reynolds yet again, who fights forward with the offensive line. And he picks up about 4 or 5 more yards. It'll be 3rd and short. Big 3rd down, looking to win this game and officially put it away. They've got good field position, so no rush for the end zone, but you want to just waste as much time as you possibly can. The Raiders here out of timeouts, but if you don't convert, you're going to give the ball back to the Raiders with a chance to get it back before the 2-minute warning. So unless you can guarantee you come away with points here, you're going to have to convert this 3rd down. And it's going to be a handoff again to Reynolds, who is wrapped up in the backfield. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th and 3, if not 4th and 2. And with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left into this game, that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll see what kind of play they decide to run on 4th and 2. The offense staying out on the field, so assume that they're just going to go for it, especially after that field goal miss earlier that could have put the game away and prevented a situation like this. I don't know how great Dan Campbell feels about rolling his kicker back out there, especially with this one being from further away. So we will probably see the Detroit Lions on 4th and 2 try and win this one for the home crowd at Ford Field, but it has been all Detroit tonight as they are closing in on win number 6. So let's take a break at the 2-minute warning, and we'll wind this thing down. Getting commercials in Spanish? What's up, Jack? Thanks for being here, man. Just saw you check in. Hopefully I see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Facebook. Trying to get this game wrapped up so I can go to bed. I didn't think I'd be live for the whole game, but We made it this far. Now you just got to see it through, right? If the Lions pick up this first down, then I'm going to shut the stream down. I don't even need to see the rest of the game. Let's take one final look at our prize picks tonight. I think just about everything we played has come and gone. Jared Goff passing yards, we were 1.5 yards short. He needed more than 268.5. He looks like he's going to finish with 267. It's 4th and 2. I cannot possibly imagine that they are going to take a shot here with Jared Goff. So looks like this ticket will be a loss. And that was the ticket that had Riley Patterson field goals. I should have doubled up some of my plays this week. That's what I didn't do, and I normally do that a lot more. So here it is, 4th and 2. It's going to be play action. It's a throw. Sam Laporta, first down. Oh, look at that. The football gods come through in the final 2 minutes of the game. Jared Goff with a 4-yard completion gets us the necessary yardage. Look at that for the final time tonight. Ding, 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 ding. While it's not a win on that prize picks ticket, it does make me feel better about my overall percentage tonight, and it's one more win that we can hang our hat on. Oh, man. Josh Adams, 0.5 rushing yards short as the Lions convert there, and they're going to kneel this thing out. So it looks like the only ticket we won tonight is going to be 4 out of 6 on our $5 flex play to win 125. So winning 4, I'm going to win $2, $3, I think. So we lost money, but, you know what they say, new day, new money. We'll be back on Thursday night with more prize picks. I don't know if we'll do a Thursday night stream, but we will be back later this week with some more Cannon Fire podcast. I will be without Evan Wanish, but our buddy James Hill, Mr. Bucs Nation, going to be filling in, and we should have some more special guests this week as we look ahead to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game against the Houston Texans. Thank you guys once again for hanging out with us tonight. Your final score on Monday Night Football, 26-14 as the Lions advance to 6 and 2 and the Raiders fall to 3 and 5. It was an entertaining game, that is for sure. Maybe not as much offense as you would have liked to see from the Raiders, but a 75-yard pick six from Marcus Peters keeps them in this game much longer than they had any chance of deserving to be. So that'll do it. Once again, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up if you like some more content just like this, and we'll talk to you later this week on some new episodes of the Cannon Fire podcast. I am Rhett Matthew. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out, and go Bucs.